Chapter 11:20. The golden horned beast was surrounded by the raging nine-precipice river, carefully moving forward. And in the distant darkness, that golden horned beast is heading towards the master's palace. We have to stop him, we definitely can't let him disturb the master. Silver Dragon, even I can't stop him, you can't either. I can't stop him, but Black Sky, you can definitely stop him. Even though your strength is about the same as mine, your god body is much stronger than mine. With your huge body, if you insist on tangling with him, you'll definitely be able to hold him back for a very long time. However, you immediately retreated after being defeated once. Don't you know that the master's authority is not to be challenged? You actually allowed the golden horned beast to invade the master's palace. No, Silver Dragon. His strength is much stronger than you think. If he really wants to shake me off, I can't stop him at all. What, even you can't stop him? Don't tell me he's a universe lord? Even if he isn't a universe lord, his strength isn't too far off. Black Sky Lord said, let's slowly watch, let him go meet the master. Since he didn't listen to my advice, even if he falls, he can't blame us. If he sees the master and disturbs the master, he'll definitely fall. Right. Another clear voice resounded. That golden horned beast will regret it. Let's go. Black Sky Lord and the other tiny figure on his body quickly disappeared into the darkness. The golden wave surged forward swiftly, engulfing the space and sweeping away everything that stood in its way. The golden horned beast watched from afar. After Black Sky Lord's words, he didn't dare be careless, and this was after all a place arranged by his teacher Mountain Traveler. Back then the third black metal board was placed with Qing Rui Ko Knight and Zi Haikao Knight. That was the power of a universe overlord. And the fourth black metal board was placed with the Craftsman Lord. The fifth and final black metal plate was probably extraordinary as well. To be able to make Black Sky Lord a servant, this master has to at least be a universe lord. Luo Feng thought. Following the strong call of the black metal board, the golden horned beast continued forward. After a full half an hour, there were no obstructions along the way. Obviously the special life forms in the dark had all given up on stopping the golden horned beast after Black Sky Lord's defeat. Damn the golden horned beast, it dares to disturb master. He is very strong. Even Lord Erebus was defeated. Just wait and see. Once he meets master, he will regret it. But by then, it will be too late. The golden horned beast could faintly feel that there were unique life forms staring at it from afar, but since they didn't want to disturb it, naturally it couldn't be bothered. After advancing for half an hour, they vaguely saw the corner of a huge palace in the distant black fog. It was a corner of the majestic palace. The incomparably majestic palace was completely blood-red in color. Just a corner of it was already unbelievably huge. Palace. The golden horned beast controlled the Jiuming River to advance swiftly, quickly arriving at the entrance of the palace. The design of the palace door looked ordinary, but it emitted a boundless pressure. There were even 3 incomparably complicated words on the palace door. Although it was impossible to decipher them, the meaning of the 3 words was directly transmitted into his mind: Blood Cloud Palace. Blood Cloud Palace? The golden horned beast above the golden river in front of the palace revealed a look of shock. It's the Blood Cloud Hall? The legendary Blood Cloud Hall? It's actually the 5th black metal board. It's actually within the Blood Cloud Hall. Golden horned Luofeng was incredibly shocked. Simultaneously, the Earth body on the distant Chinese Thorn Island also received this news. His consciousness connected to the virtual universe and began to investigate. The Blood Cloud Hall, Luo Feng understood quite a bit about it. The Blood Cloud Hall was extremely famous amongst the trillions of races in the universe. Wherever the Blood Cloud Hall passed, it was a sea of slaughter. The Blood Cloud Hall leader's personality was peculiar. Just because he didn't like a warrior, he would immediately kill his way into that warrior's nest, or even kill his way into some race's territories. he would forcefully kill his target. However, the Blood Cloud Hall leader's background? Identity? Which race was he from? His true strength? Everything was unknown. All he knew was that the Blood Cloud Hall was a flying palace treasure. Back then, the Blood Cloud Hall leader roamed the universe, killing countless. He had enmity with 99% of the universe's powers. Many universe lords wanted to kill him. Even though the Blood Cloud Hall leader was alone, he was extremely powerful. The number of universe lords that had fallen by his hands numbered at least 2. The number of universe lords was terrifying, and when he saw that the situation wasn't good, he would sit in the Blood Cloud Hall and swiftly leave. Over the long years, not a single warrior had been able to trap the Blood Cloud Hall leader, and if any power were to clash with the Blood Cloud Hall leader, the Blood Cloud Hall leader would be like a madman, thinking of ways to deal with that power. Evil. Madman. Powerful. Mysterious. This was the Blood Cloud Hall leader. No one knew where his nest was, where his true strength was. Was he a special life form or from another race? Everything was unknown. As he always wore a blood-red battle robe and mask, his true appearance was a mystery. During his craziest period, the entire universe hated this madman. However, this madman was still alive and well. Even 2 universe lords had fallen by his hands. One had to know that when universe lords fought, it was very difficult to kill each other. He could kill 2 of them. This had already proven his strength, and it was rumored that the Blood Cloud Hall leader was from the human race. As the Blood Cloud Hall leader had a bad temper, he had killed countless. Like the Ancestral God Sect, North Border Alliance, Crystal Race, Prison Race, Bug Race, Demon Race, Automaton Race, Space Beast Alliance, they had all fallen by his hands. Only the human race had not been harmed. As for the 9 Territories Alliance and the other weaker powers, they had naturally suffered greatly too. Anyway, if a race lord was killed by him, they could just bear with it. If they really fought, naturally the losses would be even greater. After all, even the Ancestral God Sect and the other superpowers had not been able to successfully deal with this Blood Cloud Hall leader. It's actually the Blood Cloud Hall. The golden-horned beast looked up at the 3 words above the door. Back then, the Blood Cloud Hall leader dominated the universe. He was definitely a mysterious and powerful being. However, ever since his most dazzling time, he began to disappear. In the following years, he had only appeared twice. The last time he appeared was over 3 million eras ago. He has disappeared for too long. There has been no news. The various powers of the universe all thought that the Blood Cloud Hall leader was definitely a powerful universe lord in disguise. However, there's no need for this disguise anymore. Hence, he hasn't appeared. Luo Feng finished reading the detailed information in the virtual universe. He only had one thought. This was a madman. A powerful madman. Whoever messed with him, he would fight them. He had no ties, he was a lone wolf. Even the superpowers who fought with him ended up losing out. I didn't expect the Blood Cloud Hall to actually be hiding here. And with the protection of the Black Sky Lord. Luo Feng exclaimed, no wonder no warriors have discovered it. After all, the universe lords don't even bother to come to the ancient Qin region. And how can a normal night pass through the protection of the Black Sky Lord? The universe races only know that this is the territory of the Black Sky Lord. However, they don't know, this is actually the lair of the Blood Cloud Hall leader. What do? Do we go in or not? The name of the Blood Cloud Hall leader was too famous. His strength was also extremely strong. Even 2 universe lords had fallen by his hands. His strength should be close to the primal Chaos City leaders. No wonder the Black Sky Lord was so confident earlier. And the Blood Cloud Hall was a flying palace-type treasure. However, according to his senses, the black metal board was within the palace. Should I enter the treasure? The golden-horned beast hesitated for a moment before quickly making a decision. Flying palace-type treasures, Their main purpose is to protect the owner. I've never heard of this Blood Cloud Hall being able to trap warriors. So, without hesitation, the golden horned beast immediately shrunk the area of the Nine Hell River and simultaneously flew towards the door. The door had long opened. After flying in, there was a huge and vast plaza. In the distance were 3 palaces. In the middle was the main palace, and beside it were 2 side palaces. And one could faintly see that behind the main palace was another palace. It's in the main palace. The golden horned beast could clearly feel the strong summoning and swiftly flew towards the main palace. The main palace emitted an endless killing intent and tyrannical energy. Upon entering, one could see the blood-colored throne in the main palace. However, there was no silhouette on the throne. Where's the Blood Cloud Hall leader? Is he not here? He's the leader of the Blood Cloud Hall. The moment I entered, he should have sensed it. Why hasn't he shown himself? The golden horned beast had this thought in its mind. However, it didn't hesitate at all. It followed the summoning and swiftly entered the back hall of the main palace. The main palace was split into the main palace, many side halls and back halls, etc. Following the corridors, the golden horned beast walked at an extremely fast speed. It's here. Knocking on the door and entering. Entering a secret hall. The moment it entered, the golden horned beast was slightly shocked. There were large amounts of items placed in the hall. All sorts of powerful energies emitted from them. These items had large amounts of precious materials. Judging from the energy, there were shocking amounts of treasures. With one look, there were probably over 10,000 treasures. At the same time, there were over 100 treasures. However, based on Luo Feng's judgment, they should all be normal treasures. This is a treasure trove room? Luo Feng thought. However, the door could easily be pushed open. No, this is the Blood Cloud Hall. Is the leader very confident? And the items placed here, to the leader, probably aren't that valuable. Over 100 treasures, over 10,000 treasures, a vast amount of materials. It caused this treasure trove room to emit an endless amount of energy. But the golden horned beast's gaze landed on the item that was placed right at the center of the large amount of materials, a black metal plate that seemed to be damaged. The 5th piece. The golden horned beast felt weird too. How could it be obtained so easily? A thread of god energy swiftly shot out from the golden horned beast's horn and penetrated the metal plate. Very quickly, the last bit of information from the 9-level manuals madly flowed into Luo Feng's consciousness. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:21. Luo Feng had already acquired the 4 black metal plates before. With this new information pouring in, the information regarding the 9 tribulations manuals in his mind was immediately complete. Only after acquiring the entire 9 tribulations manuals did Luo Feng realize in shock just how mystical this manual was. Unbelievable! The golden horned beast closed its eyes. Within his consciousness, the words regarding the 9 tribulation manuals floated about. Countless words formed this manual. Even without looking at the contents, just the combination of the countless words was like a huge engraving diagram. Every word was a part of the engraving diagram, naturally forming an engraving diagram that was even more complex and perfect than the miniature universe engraving diagram. Simply unbelievable! The contents of a manual can actually form an engraving diagram? I've never even heard of it before. Luo Feng was shocked. He too understood that this was completely because the 9 tribulation manuals had reached such a high level. The closer one got to the mysteries of the universe origin laws, the more mysterious it would be. Like the beast god, his body was the embodiment of the origin laws. The 9 tribulation manuals were directly rejected by the universe origin laws. Even if it was created, it couldn't be passed down. Luckily Mountain Guest used the Heaven Soul Crystal to carry it, allowing him to pass down this heaven-defying manual. And he could only pass it down to one life form. Like the strongest natural abilities, they were all bestowed by the universe. However, the 9 tribulation manuals were rejected by the universe. Obviously, the 9 tribulation manuals were even stronger than the strongest natural abilities by a level. It had already reached an unbelievable level. It wasn't something a universe lord could create. The golden horned beast was stunned for a moment before the black metal board in the treasure room. Obviously, it was shocked by the complete manual. However, it quickly recovered from its shock. "We can't stay in the Blood Cloud Palace for long. Let's leave quickly." The golden horned beast's god energy immediately swept up the black metal board and kept it in his world ring. After which, his gaze swept across the huge amount of rare materials, over 10,000 treasures, over 100 treasures. Rumble! An overwhelming pressure immediately descended and engulfed the entire Blood Cloud Palace. At the same time, the space within the palace was completely controlled. The space ripples immediately stopped. Not good. The golden horned beast was shocked. It's the universe lord. The golden horned beast turned its head and saw a silhouette emitting an endless killing aura in the distant corridor. He wore a blood-red battle robe and had a pair of golden horns on his head. At the same time, he wore a mask. His tail extended out from his battle robe and was waving slightly. His eyes were staring at the golden horned beast. Blood Cloud Palace leader? The golden horned beast slowly turned around, facing him from afar. So what if he was the master of the universe? Golden horned beast. The Blood Cloud leader looked at Luo Feng and walked over step by step. Your guess is right, I am the Blood Cloud leader, however. Following his words, his body swiftly began to transform. The blood-red robe swiftly became a normal green armor, the pair of golden horns became 2 crystal horns, the mask disappeared and a familiar face appeared. His aura had also changed. The boundless killing aura from before had turned into an aura as vast as the sea. Teacher? The golden horned beast stared wide-eyed. The Blood Cloud leader before it had instantly transformed into his teacher, Mountain Traveler. And the aura was exactly the same, not just the aura, even the pressure that was even stronger than the primal Chaos City leaders was the same. This was definitely something that couldn't be faked. Luo Feng. Mountain Traveler smiled and said, "Did you expect the 5th black metal board to end up like this?" Golden horned Luo Feng blinked, recalling his conversation with his teacher Mountain Traveler back in the Beast God world. Back then, Luo Feng had asked his teacher, "Is the 5th black metal board of the 9-level manual training?" Mountain Traveler's reply back then was, "No, if you could guess my methods, would I still be my teacher?" Luo Feng was curious back then and continued to ask. However, Mountain Traveler didn't answer back then, saying, "When the time comes, you will know." Blood Cloud Palace, outside the main palace. Mountain Traveler stood and looked at the endless black energy in the distant space. The golden horned beast had become as tall as Mountain Traveler, almost like a winged lion standing beside him. "Teacher, this Blood Cloud Palace leader is actually you." The golden horned beast spoke. "No wonder the various races of the universe can't do anything to him. Back then, the Blood Cloud Palace leader that dominated the universe was merely a clone that I formed." Mountain Traveler looked at the endless space and exclaimed, "Even though it's just a clone, it still has the power of your primal Chaos City leader, teacher. Dominating the universe, that's enough." "Then, teacher, why are you using the identity of the Blood Cloud Palace leader?" The golden horned beast's eyes were filled with suspicion. With Mountain Traveler's strength, who would dare mess with him? If he wanted to take revenge, he could just do it openly. "Because of you," Mountain Traveler said. "Me?" The golden horned beast was stunned. "Right." Mountain Traveler nodded. "Accurately speaking, this identity of the Blood Cloud Palace leader is something I've prepared for my 3rd disciple. No matter who is able to meet my requirements, He will inherit the position of the Blood Cloud Palace leader. Blood Cloud Palace leader? Inherit? The golden horned beast's eyes stared wide. Damn. His teacher was a troublemaker. The identity of the Blood Cloud Palace leader was a madman with enemies all over the universe. All the big powers wanted to kill him. Hearing his teacher's words, it seemed like he wanted it to inherit the position. Back then, when I trained your second senior brother, it was the same. Mountain Traveler exclaimed. I created a new identity early on. Northern Prison Leader. When your second senior brother's strength is enough, I'll let him inherit the position of Northern Prison Leader. What? The golden horned beast was even more shocked. Blood Cloud Palace leader, Northern Prison leader. They were both clones created by Mountain Traveler teacher? The Northern Prison leader was an evil super being whose fame wasn't any less than the Blood Cloud Palace leader. He had a flying palace treasure called the Northern Prison. This treasure also had the ability to suppress and seal things. This Northern Prison leader roamed the universe. The moment he fought with an enemy, he loved to trap them in the Northern Prison. If they didn't have the ability to create clones, the only way to escape would be to self-destruct. He was even older than the Blood Cloud Palace leader. He was a powerful evil being at the beginning of the universe, but he gradually disappeared. I let your second senior brother inherit the position of Northern Prison leader. Mountain Traveler shook his head. However, after countless years, he still wasn't able to satisfy me. Hence, I took back everything from the Northern Prison leader, making his position disappear forever. He no longer has the right to be the Northern Prison leader. Luo Feng was shocked within. Taking back everything from the Northern Prison leader? Your second senior brother doesn't have much hope for him anymore. Hence, I've given my all to train you. Mountain Traveler exclaimed, smiling as he looked at Luo Feng. Second senior brother has disappointed teacher. In the future, I'm afraid your disciple will disappoint teacher too. The golden horned beast lowered its head. Mountain Traveler smiled. When you can fully activate the Star Pagoda, you're already stronger than your second senior brother. The Star Pagoda, even though its power is heavenly, the Universe Knights, Universe Lords, the strongest warriors in the universe don't even have a chance of controlling it. And the weak's willpower isn't enough. You were able to survive the life and death inheritance at the Sector Lord level, not bad. However, even though you're stronger than your second senior brother, you're still far from my goal. Mountain Traveler said. Goal? The golden horned beast turned to look at the teacher beside him. The strongest warrior in the universe. Mountain Traveler said slowly. This was the first time he revealed his thoughts to Luo Feng. When you become the strongest warrior in the universe, then I'll have succeeded. If your second senior brother can become the strongest warrior in the universe, then I'll have succeeded. However, according to my judgment, the chances of him becoming the strongest warrior in the universe are extremely low. He's already on the wrong path. Luo Feng was shocked within. First senior brother and second senior brother were both universe lords. Mountain Traveler was still disappointed and continued to train his third disciple. So Mountain Traveler's true goal for his disciple was to become the strongest warrior in the universe. What a crazy thought! How rare were the strongest warriors in the universe? With one of the strongest warriors in the universe, the race would be the pinnacle of races. A power would be a superpower. Even the lone strongest warrior in the universe would still be a free and unfettered eternal being. Mountain Traveler being able to reach this level was already heaven-defying, yet he wanted to train the strongest warrior as his disciple. Crazy! However, Luo Feng couldn't help but respect his teacher, because Mountain Passenger was indeed impressive, nurturing the Flame God race, the Earth race, even creating many powerful treasures, at least things like the Calamity Armor and the Soul. The pinnacle treasures weren't difficult for him, even with luck, he was able to create the Star Pagoda. Becoming the strongest warrior in the universe is incomparably difficult. Mountain Traveler said, if you just stay in one place and train silently, you'll never become the strongest warrior in the universe. The birth of every strongest warrior in the universe, there are large amounts of encounters and training, but without a doubt, they are all trained through blood and fire. You have your race to worry about, you won't be able to fight and train to your heart's content. That's why I've prepared the identity of the Blood Cloud leader for you. No one knows who you are, your enemies are all over the universe. The moment you appear in the universe, all of them will rush over. Mountain Traveler looked at the golden horned beast. In the endless training, you'll continue to grow, at least, this is the only way I know to increase the chances of becoming the strongest warrior in the universe. The golden horned beast blinked, a little dazed. They can recognize me. They won't be able to. Mountain Passenger flipped his hand, and a blood-red bead appeared in his hand. This is a special treasure that I forged, the Blood Cloud bead. It can change the aura of your soul, and it can even disguise your armor. No one will be able to recognize you. And the flying palace behind you, the Blood Cloud Palace. It will also be yours. Of course, if you disappoint me, I'll do what I did to your second brother, take back the Blood Cloud Palace and the Blood Cloud Pearl. My disciple, when you become the Blood Cloud leader, that will be a new journey. Do you dare to accept it? Mountain Traveler looked at the golden horned beast. P.S. Chapter 2 has arrived. Tomato continued to write the third chapter. It was a little slow. The third chapter would probably be over 12 points. There were indeed many strong people in the comments section. How did they all guess that the Blood Cloud leader was Mountain Traveler? I'm going to faint. Asterisk to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:22. The golden horned beast's dark golden eyes were filled with endless fighting spirit. I accept. Slaughter? The path of the strong? A new journey? It was quite interesting. You're bloodthirsty. Mountain Guest looked at the golden horned beast and smiled. Very suitable to take over the position of Blood Cloud Palace leader. After which he threw the blood-red pearl in his hand, the Blood Cloud Pearl. Imprint your life force within, control the Blood Cloud Pearl. Mountain Guest said. The golden horned beast looked over. A thread of God energy swiftly enveloped the Blood Cloud Pearl in mid-air. A thread had already seeped into it, instantly recognizing it as its master. As a treasure personally crafted by Mountain Guest, the Blood Cloud Pearl didn't have any information on it, and its functions were very special and peculiar. Actually, many of the treasures Mountain Guest crafted were very special. Like the Soul Source, the Calamity Armor, these pinnacle treasures all had strict requirements for their owners. Other warriors couldn't even use them. This was a reflection of Mountain Guest's skill in crafting treasures. Who? The golden horned beast opened its mouth, and the Blood Cloud Pearl flew in. Immediately the golden horned beast's body began to change. Its back limbs swiftly became longer and thicker, its chest and abdomen became more powerful, completely transforming from a crawling life form to an upright one. Its face was covered in a silver mask, and on its forehead were 2 golden horns. The scaled wings on his back quickly retracted and disappeared. Even the color of the beast god armor on his divine body was slowly changing, turning into a blood-red battle robe. A scaled tail stretched out from the battle robe. Endless killing intent emanated. Evil. Crazy. It was exactly the same as the Blood Cloud Palace leader that Mountain Guest had become. Ha ha ha, my Blood Cloud Pearl isn't bad, right? Mountain Guest stood at the side, as though admiring a beautiful piece of art. Very mysterious. Luo Feng couldn't help but compliment. My energy and pressure are all released by the Blood Cloud Pearl. It can even change the structure of my god body. From the golden horned beast form to this form through the Blood Cloud Pearl, my strength isn't affected at all. And it can even disguise as my beast god armor. It's too mysterious. To craft a Blood Cloud Pearl, One has to kill a universe lord. Mountain Guest exclaimed, and one has to destroy the soul, leaving his god body intact. After which large amounts of materials are used with his god body, transforming it into a blood cloud pearl. This allows the blood cloud pearl to release a specific energy. Pressure. I can even change your divine body into a fixed structure that I've designed and disguise it as a supreme treasure. Luo Feng was stunned. The blood cloud pearl was a very unique and special treasure. It did not have any direct combat power, but it was enough to make many super existences covet it. However, he did not expect the refinement requirements to be so exaggerated. First, he had to kill a master of the universe through his soul. Perhaps only the strongest people in the universe would have the confidence to do so. Remember, once you use the Star Pagoda, you must be careful. Perhaps other experts might not be able to tell if you use the Star Pagoda to attack, but if you use it to protect your life, you will definitely be exposed. Understood. Luo Feng nodded. The Star Pagoda shrunk to the size of a palm and became a conical shape. After changing its appearance slightly, it could be used as a sharp horn. However, once his life was saved, the Star Pagoda would naturally expand and Luo Feng would hide inside. At that time, the Star Pagoda would naturally be exposed. If I use it to protect myself, I'll definitely be exposed. Mountain Passenger smiled. Whether you choose to let the Blood Cloud Palace Master use the Star Tower or use your true identity, it's up to you. Luo Feng nodded. Luo Feng's true body using the Star Pagoda was exposed. The Blood Cloud Palace Master using the Star Pagoda was also exposed. Wouldn't that be telling the trillions of races in the universe? Luo Feng was the Blood Cloud Palace Master? The Blood Cloud Palace Master still has a life-saving treasure, the Blood Cloud Palace. I've just retrieved my life imprint. Mountain Passenger smiled. Right now, it's yours. Blood Cloud Palace? Luo Feng turned to look. Looking at the majestic palace, he didn't hesitate and immediately infused his god energy into the ground beneath his feet. Following the life imprint, he immediately felt a sense of familiarity. The entire Blood Cloud Palace immediately seemed to become his own limbs. He could control everything within the palace, even the treasure room from before was clearly observed. The Blood Cloud Palace is a top-grade flying palace treasure. Mountain Passenger looked at Luo Feng. It's extremely precious. You can only use it when using the identity of the Blood Cloud Palace Master. Normally when you roam the universe, you're forbidden from using it, otherwise your identity will be exposed. Luo Feng nodded. I hope this Blood Cloud Palace won't be retrieved by me. Mountain Passenger smiled. I'm not the second senior. Luo Feng said directly. Just like how I treated your second senior back then. Mountain Passenger smiled. I'll give you a promise to. Promise? Luo Feng listened carefully. Mountain Passenger smiled. During your universe night period, if you can kill 10 top universe overlords, or a universe lord, then I'll promise. You provide the materials and I'll make a top-grade treasure for you for free. Then, I promise. If you provide me with the materials, I'll refine a supreme treasure for you for free. The materials needed to refine a supreme treasure are worth about 10% of the supreme treasure itself. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. A top-grade treasure. It was enough to make the primal Chaos City leader and the creator of the huge axe move. Back then, the bet between the Ancestor and Mountain Passenger was only at this level. If you become a Universe Lord, then the requirements will be higher. You'll have to kill 100 top Universe Overlords or 10 Universe Lords before I'll make a top-grade treasure for you for free. Mountain Passenger revealed a weird smile. The top-grade treasure I'm talking about includes top-grade domain treasures, top-grade flying palace treasures, etc. Luo Feng's eyes immediately turned red. Damn. Crazy. Humanity's strongest was only at the top-grade domain treasures level. The higher your requirements, I'll give you a list of materials based on the treasures you require. Mountain Passenger mocked. Don't be too ambitious, the top-grade domain treasures, just the materials required, are rare and precious, even your human race might not be able to gather them. There's definitely a way. Luo Feng was filled with fighting spirit. Remember, the requirement to become a Universe Knight is to kill 10 top Universe Overlords or 1 Universe Lord. The moment you become a Universe Lord, the requirements will be 10 times more than before. Mountain Passenger exclaimed, "Back then when I made this promise to your second senior, he was already a Universe Lord when he inherited the North Prison Leader position. It's a pity he never got what I asked for." Luo Feng was speechless. Kill 10 Universe Lords? What a difficult and demanding requirement. It wasn't something that could be killed just by being stronger. The higher the Universe Lord, the stronger their ability to escape. Don't even talk about Universe Lords, just killing the top Universe Overlords. Firstly, they could delay for time and even call for help, allowing a powerful being or even the strongest warrior in the universe to personally descend. After all, they all had their own backgrounds and powers. Once they felt their lives were in danger, it was normal to immediately call for help. Killing 10 Universe Lords, even the strongest warrior in the universe would find it difficult and troublesome. No wonder Flame Emperor couldn't do it back then. Asking me, a Universe Knight, to kill 10 top Universe Overlords? Or 1 Universe Lord? Luo Feng sighed. None of the top Universe Overlords are easy to deal with, and they can even summon Universe Lords. As for Universe Lords, it's already not bad for me to fight them one-on-one. Kill? Difficult. Mountain Passenger's requirements were indeed difficult, but he still made a promise and continued to tempt Luo Feng. This teacher of mine wants me to go kill. Luo Feng could naturally tell what Mountain Passenger was thinking. This is the blood cloud tag. Mountain Passenger waved his hand and threw out a blood-red tag. Luo Feng received it and immediately realized it was very similar to the one his teacher gave him to communicate with back then. After recognizing you as the owner, you can use the blood cloud tag to give orders to your 18 servants. Mountain Passenger instructed. The 18 servants are all Universe Lords, they too manage other special life forms. Servants? Luo Feng was curious. Back then when I created the identity of the Blood Cloud Leader, I accidentally saved a few special life forms while roaming the universe. They begged to recognize me as their owner. I was born a special life form, hence I also protected these little punks. As time went on, the number of these little fellows under me increased. Under my guidance there were 18 Universe Venerables. Among them, there are 3 Peak Universe Overlords. Through the Blood Cloud token, you will be able to obtain some simple information about these 18. I will protect them for an indefinite amount of time. You should also take care of them to the best of your ability. Star Pagoda, Calamity Armor, Blood Cloud Palace, you've already obtained everything. Whatever teacher can do, I've already done. As for how far you can go, it's up to you. Mountain Passenger looked deeply at Luo Feng before vanishing into thin air. Luo Feng stood where he was. He could feel the anticipation in Mountain Guest's eyes, almost as though he was watching his child grow up. Mountain Guest nurtured the Flare Emperor and Luo Feng. It was obvious he really wanted to nurture the strongest disciple of the universe. There's probably some secret involved within, Luo Feng thought. Following closely, Luo Feng picked up the blood cloud tag in his hand. Teacher Mountain Passenger told him to do his best to take care of these special life forms. Naturally, he had to do his best. Through the blood cloud tag, Luo Feng ordered the 18 servants to bring all the special life forms under them and rush to the Blood Cloud Palace to meet him. The Master wants to see us. Quickly! Little punks, you're lucky. The Master actually wants to see you. Ah, we're just Sector Lords, can we even see the Master? The Blood Cloud Leader controlled special life forms that occupied close to 1/6 of the Guqin secret region, swiftly rushed towards the Blood Cloud Palace. To them, it was like a pilgrimage. After all, normally the Blood Cloud Leader only communicated with the 18 Knights, the other special life forms had no way of contacting him directly. After spending over a day, they finally gathered. The 18 knights each brought their own special life forms, the majestic formation of all sorts of special life forms in the darkness, flying towards the Blood Cloud Palace door. The door opened wide. Countless beams of light flew past Blood Cloud Palace, Main Palace. Black Sky Lord, Silver Dragon Knight and Ciwu, the three pinnacle of the universe overlords were at the front. Behind them were 15 special life forms that either had the strength of a universe overlord or an upper-level knight. Behind them were hundreds of special life forms, and at the very back were thousands of Sector Lord special life forms. We greet the Master. Black Sky Lord and the other two pinnacle overlords knelt down. We greet the Master. The black mass of thousands of special life forms behind all knelt down respectfully. And in the blood-colored throne of the main palace, the Blood Cloud leader sat high above, gazing below. 3 chapters finished. 2011 only has one last day left. Everyone please vote for Tomato in the last 22 hours. Thank you. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:23. Luo Feng sat in his throne, gazing down at the black mass of peculiar life forms kneeling below. These thousands of peculiar life forms' eyes were filled with excitement, worship. This made Luo Feng immediately realize these seemingly powerful and rare peculiar life forms had a tragic point: they were just too weak. Because of their extremely high life forms, natural talents and techniques, they lured the trillions of races in the universe to attack and enslave or steal them. If a group of peculiar life forms didn't have a powerful protector, then they would very quickly be ripped apart by the trillions of races in the universe. Devoured. Back then, the Blood Cloud leader roamed the universe. Back then, the number of peculiar life forms wasn't small. When he saw some of them being killed, he felt pity and saved group after group of them. Finally they gathered together to form these thousands of peculiar life forms. After countless years of growth, with the Mountain Guest's guidance, the Black Sky Lord, Silver Horned Knight and Ciwu, these pinnacle overlords were born. If it was back then, they too would have been hunted down. Of course, after countless years, the peculiar life forms without protectors had long vanished from the universe's history. Hence, the ancient beings like the Primal Chaos City leader etc. had quite a few peculiar life forms. However, as time went on and it reached Luo Feng's era, it was too difficult to find another life form to steal. Mountain Guest protects them and guides them. Just like their father. Luo Feng thought, no wonder they all call him Master, yet respect and worship him from the bottom of their hearts. From today onwards, I am the Blood Cloud Hall Master. Although I have gained such a powerful force, I also have another responsibility in addition to the earth. Luo Feng thought. This was indeed a force that made the universe powers envious. 3 pinnacle overlords, especially the Black Sky Lord, his god energy purity was close to 100 times stronger than Tian Heng's. Even with the same high-level armor, Luo Feng needed 2 levels of attack to achieve the same result as Tian Heng's, and the Black Sky Lord's body was even more than 1,000,000 km tall. Its size was trillions of times that of Tian Heng's body that was less than 10 m tall. Silver Horned Knight and Ciwu, even though their bodies aren't as exaggerated, they aren't small either. With the 3 of them here, unless they encounter a Lord of the Universe, this special life form force will be able to resist them. Luo Feng nodded to himself. Protecting such a power wasn't as difficult as protecting Earth. The special life forms had grown for countless years and had the ability to protect themselves. Luo Feng suddenly understood. Why were there so many precious materials, treasures and normal treasures in the treasury? After all, Luo Feng's future opponent would be a Universe Lord. Normal treasures would shatter in a Universe Lord level battle. Clearly, these normal treasures weren't left for Luo Feng, but for these special life forms. Black Sky. Luo Feng said. Master. Black Sky Lord said honestly. The 18 of you, tell me your treasures. Luo Feng gazed below. Yes, I have a high-grade treasure armor and 6 high-grade treasure divine hammers. Black Sky Lord laughed. Master, are you going to bestow me with a peak-grade treasure armor? Last time, you even said that the next time, you would think of a way to get me a top-grade armor treasure. You said that if I had a top-grade armor treasure, even the Lord of the Universe would have a hard time killing me. Luo Feng was shocked. A top-grade treasure armor? The treasury his teacher left him only had over 100 normal treasures. Teacher Mountain Passenger is too sinister. Now that I've inherited the position of Blood Cloud Leader, the responsibility of giving the strongest under me treasures is on my shoulders? Luo Feng cursed within, but there was nothing he could do. I'm thinking of a way. A top-grade armor treasure isn't easy to get. Luo Feng said. Yes, however, Master will definitely be able to do it. Black Sky Lord said. Next. Luo Feng ordered. Silver Dragon Knight, Thorn Crow Demon Leader and the others all reported their treasures. Luo Feng realized that these 18 knights all had treasures, and they were obviously chosen according to their strength. Like the 3 top universe lords, they all had high-level treasures, and each had several of them. Luo Feng, who originally planned on giving them treasures, gave up on that idea. In the end, he only gave a few undying life forms and treasures, and the meeting ended. This is a power. Even though I have the responsibility of leading and protecting them, they can help me with many things too. Luo Feng thought, in the future, my Earth bloodline will naturally be protected by me. Black Sky Lord and his group of aberrations should be able to complement the Earth bloodline. That day, Luo Feng ordered the aberrations to leave. He also sent an order to Black Sky Lord, Silver Dragon Knight and Thorn Crow Demon Leader. Black Sky, Silver Dragon and Thorn Crow, I'm going out for a while. I'll leave the matters of the children in the ancient Qin region to you guys. If there's anything you guys can't handle, inform me. Yes. Yes, Master. The 3 replied through their tags. That day, the golden horned beast quietly returned to the human territory, back to the God country. From then on, Luo Feng's life was split into 2 parts. One was the golden horned beast studying the Star Tower using the engravings, the other was his Earth body training on Circus Island. The Earth body first started training the 8th level of the 9-level secret manual. The advantage of having a small god body was that it trained extremely quickly. In a year's time, Luo Feng completed the 8th level. His life genetic level grew from about 9,800 times to about 10,050 times. This was purely Luo Feng's estimation. Following which, Luo Feng continued training the 9th level of the 9 level. During the training, his life genetic level grew extremely slowly, especially when he was halfway through the 9th level. Suddenly, his life genetic level got stuck. It stopped when it was just a sliver away from the perfect gene. No matter how much the 9-level secret manual trained, his life genetic level didn't increase at all. Just a little bit more. The Netherworld Ocean clone and the Golden Horned Beast clone have both reached the perfect gene level, but my Earth body is only a sliver away from the perfect gene level. Why is it that halfway through the 9th level of the 9 Calamities manual, it's useless? Luo Feng was anxious. It was useless. No matter how much his training progressed, his life genetic level stagnated. Just a little bit more, what do you want me to do? The 3rd year on Circus Island. Luo Feng sat cross-legged on a stone bridge beside a pond in his mansion's courtyard. At this moment, he finally reached the final step of the 9-level secret manual. Regardless of whether it was the Golden Horned Beast or the Serene Sea clone, they had both attained perfect genes before even reaching the end. The Earth deity was the first to complete the 9 Calamities secret manual. Hua, Luo Feng sat there, but his entire body made the sound of the surging ocean. At the same time, his skin started to emit golden threads, and a huge, mysterious, and complicated engraving appeared on his body. If Luo Feng's entire skin was peeled off, the engraving formed, although it was different from the engraving formed by the words of the 9-level secret manual, the concept was the same. Peng! Luo Feng felt that his life source had a fundamental breakthrough, as though he had broken through a bottleneck. His life genetic level finally took another small step forward. It was just a small step, but it represented a fundamental breakthrough. I broke through. I broke through. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with joy. I have to go back to the God country. Luo Feng clearly felt that his god body was trying to absorb energy to grow, but there wasn't enough energy to absorb on Circe's island. He immediately teleported to the God country and quickly left Circe's island. In the God country, the endless tranquil sea stirred up huge waves that were hundreds of kilometers in height. Above the waves, a black-haired young man was standing naked in midair. Countless amounts of seawater surged up from below, wrapping around this black-haired young man like countless ribbons. They were constantly being absorbed by him. The black-haired youth began to grow bigger and bigger. From less than 2 meters tall, he began to rapidly grow taller and taller. 10 meters, 100 meters, 1,000 meters. The god's power in his god body also continued to increase, increasing by more than 1 trillion times. It had reached an incomparably turbulent and terrifying level. When he became a towering 90,000 kilometers tall, he finally stopped. From today onwards, my earth body and the golden horned beast will be my 2 main forces. Luo Feng smiled. Before, even though his earth body's purity was high, it was too small, causing him to be unable to unleash I Am the Universe. And now, in terms of body, his earth body was the same as the golden horned beast. Naturally he could unleash even more power. Like unleashing the Universe Lord's golden light, he didn't have to worry about using up too much of his body's energy. It's time to make a trip to Primal Chaos City. That mountain beheading blade is too weak for me. Luo Feng first headed to Primal Chaos City to acquire the mountain beheading blade and the large amounts of normal treasures he had hunted on Primal Planet. Along with the 20 treasures in the Blood Cloud Palace treasure room, he accumulated them all, along with his remaining treasure points. Only then did he exchange for a top-level treasure blade. Sad 9 Snow. The blade's original name was Sad 9 Snow, however Luo Feng named it the Blood Shadow Blade. Black Sky, Silver Dragon, Thorn Crow, the 100 treasures in the treasure room were left behind by my teacher for you special life forms. However, those punks still need a long time to grow. I'll temporarily take a portion. I'll definitely get them back in the future. Luo Feng felt the pressure too. The bug race, automaton race and demon race were all getting restless. The stronger he was, the better. With the pinnacle of treasures, the Calamity Armor, able to reach the 3rd level, weakening the enemy's attack by 1/100,000 teach, and a 90,000 kilometers long body, his natural survivability had reached a terrifying level. In a battle against a master of the universe, a high-level supreme treasure saber was clearly too weak. Leaving God Country and returning to Purple Thorn Island, the golden horned beast left from the engraving school, still studying the Star Pagoda engraving in God Country. Luo Feng's true body was quietly cultivating on Circe's island, constantly increasing his understanding of the way of the beast god. After all, the more he understood about the way of the beast god, the better it would be for his attainments in the mysterious pattern school. 61 years passed in the blink of an eye. P.S. First chapter has arrived. Sweat. The update was late, however there will definitely be 3 chapters today. There are only 2 hours left of the year. If you don't vote, it'll be too late. Please support Tomato. Tomato continued writing. There will definitely be 3 chapters. Asterisk, to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:24. On Bauhinia Island. Look, Luo Feng has appeared and is flying towards the plaza in front of the island leader's palace. In one of the countless palaces on Circe's Island, two demon undying beings were chatting. However, their gazes were locked on Luo Feng, who was flying in the distance. They didn't dare miss anything. Their mission was to monitor Luo Feng's every movement. After a while, Luo Feng entered the fountain and vanished. Only then did the two demon undyings relax. Expression, smiling. Wore silver armor. The two swiftly checked each other's situation and made a detailed report. It's been so many years, by now all the large powers of the universe know that our demon race, bug race and automaton race all want to kill Luo Feng. However, up till now, there's been no movement at all. The demon with the green-gray turtle shell shook his head and said hoarsely, "Everyone says that Luo Feng has long reached the pinnacle of Universe Lord strength. If we don't make a move when he breaks through to Universe Lord, it'll be too late for regrets. Don't blame the race, we can only blame Luo Feng for hiding on Bauhinia Island. Our demon race, bug race and automaton race, what can we do?" The black eye under the countless feathers stared at the distant plaza in front of the island leader's palace. However, it's weird, why is Luo Feng still at the 5th level of the Beast God Path? On Bauhinia Island, the inheritors could challenge each other, the rankings were very clear. The 3rd level of the Beast God Path was all on the same list. The 4th level of the Beast God Path was all on the same list, and Luo Feng had entered the 5th level 62 years ago. Obviously he was training the 5th level of the Beast God Path. This seemed very strong, however the pinnacle of Universe Lords should at least be at the 7th level, right? Stupid. He's the 5th level of the Beast God Path, but do you even know what level his time-space path has reached? Who knows, he's almost at the limit, stepping into Universe Lord level. That makes sense, however he's been training for such a short time, how can his comprehension of the origin laws be so fast? Who knows, if it wasn't for his terrifying speed, the race wouldn't be in such a rush to get rid of him. Look, he's out. The two demon undyings stared at the distant Luo Feng, continuing to observe his every movement. From the surface, they might be able to deduce some important information. Luo Feng flew back to his residence. There are at least 100 inheritors watching me right now. Luo Feng grinned. This made the inheritors from the various powers of the universe immediately record down the times when Luo Feng revealed a smile. I feel like I'll be able to comprehend the entire 5th level in a year or two. Luo Feng waited silently. Back then, it only took him half a month to comprehend the 4th level, which represented the claw of the Beast God. However, the 5th level of the Beast God Path represented the Beast God's horn. It was even more profound and took up a lot more time. As studying it required a lot of time, Luo Feng usually took 2 to 3 months to go to the inheritance grounds. 62 years had passed, and it was only then that he could vaguely sense that he was close to mastering the 5th Dan. And as his Beast God Path continued to improve, it made it much easier for Luo Feng to create techniques through the engraving system. Even as he studied the Star Pagoda, he was inspired to create a Universe Lord Pinnacle technique and a Universe Overlord Ultimate technique. Luo Feng named them Golden Mountain and Heavy Mountain. Right now Luo Feng had decent techniques. He had the Universe Lord's Ultimate Golden Light, the Universe Lord's Pinnacle Golden Mountain, the Universe Overlord's Ultimate Misty Light and Heavy Mountain. Of course these were secondary. The most important thing was his study of the Star Pagoda. Even though he was inspired to create 2 strong techniques, the Star Pagoda Luo Feng could only activate the most basic 1st level engravings. As for the 2nd level, he had already understood more than half of it. However, he still needed a period of time before he could activate the 2nd level. Right now the Star Pagoda, I only know one attack, Pierce. As for the other, Smash, I'm afraid I'll need to completely comprehend the 2nd level of the engravings before I can unleash its power. I reckon it'll take a few more years. Luo Feng swiftly rushed down from mid-air, landing in his own mansion and continuing his peaceful life. Luo Feng knew too. This was the calm before the storm. The human race was constantly concerned about Luo Feng's movements. Luckily, this Luo Feng has always been on Circus Island. It's very safe. Primal Chaos. Why did you let him out back then? If you left him in Primal Chaos City, wouldn't that be the safest? After all, he could still encounter great danger outside the human territory. Even though the ancestral god sect is very powerful, the bug race, monster race, automaton race, and the Northern Border Alliance all have strong warriors in the ancestral god sect. Once they join forces, they can definitely find a way to deal with Luo Feng. When he wanted to go out back then, I naturally wouldn't stop him. He has a soul treasure, and his willpower is extremely strong. Even if he encounters a crisis he can't resist, he can still self-destruct. With his talent and clone ability, there's nothing to be afraid of. The Dragon Leader and the Primal Chaos City Leader discussed. The Dragon Leader's worries were not wrong. Because Luo Feng had always been on Circus Island, the bug race, monster race, and automaton race were anxious. They didn't dare to send a Universe Lord over. Once they did, they would definitely be attacked by the five-color Aurora Lake and annihilated. It wasn't worth losing a Universe Lord just to kill someone who could become a Primal Chaos City leader. Damn! This human Luo Feng, is he planning to stay on Circus Island forever? He's been on Circus Island for so long, and he hasn't done anything else. What he lacks now is cultivation. He must be trying to cultivate and meditate on Circus Island. He has such combat power, but his Tao of the Beast God isn't very profound. Then he must be almost perfect in the Tao of space and time, so he's practicing the Tao of the Beast God as a reference. Different Taos can learn from each other, and maybe he'll finally make a breakthrough. We can't waste time like this. The longer we wait, the better it will be for Luo Feng. The top three races were anxious. They wanted to wait for Luo Feng to leave Circus Island, but it seemed that he wouldn't leave at all. It had already been 62 years. How could he delay any longer? In the vast universe, in a starry sky. 3 thoughts passed through the endless distance and landed in this starry sky. 3 lofty figures could be vaguely seen. One of them was a beautiful and graceful figure surrounded by endless light. Just looking at her figure was enough to enchant a universe venerable. A gigantic, oval-shaped, black sphere shadow was floating in another place. The last figure was surrounded by thousands of vague snake shadows. A huge, silver-white snake head looked around, and the starry sky around it was completely twisted into a vortex. Dream Tea, where's Jinjiao? The huge black sphere asked. We're monsters. I can handle it. The silver-white snake head also said. Their voices were instantly transmitted to the other 2 parties. It seemed that the rule that the speed of light was the limit of the original universe didn't apply to them. Machine, you summoned the monsters and the Zerg. Now that the Zerg Queen and I are here, it's time to talk. Machine, speak. The faintly discernible figure also spoke. Okay. The black sphere said, a little guy named Luo Feng has appeared in the human race under the protection of Giant Axe. His strength is improving very fast, and he's been staying on Circus Island. If we let him go on like this, the human race will have one more powerful existence in the future. He also has the talent to create doppelgangers. It'll be difficult for us to kill him in the future. We must get rid of him as soon as possible. Of course we must get rid of him as soon as possible, the slim figure said, her voice filled with endless charm. But how? That's the core of the ancestral god sect. The territory controlled by the ultimate treasure, the 5-color lake, can't be entered without the permission of the ancestral god sect. Once the treasure is activated to attack, even the Universe Lord will die. And it's not just about the death of the Universe Lord. Trespassing into the core area of the ancestral god sect is against the rules. That's provoking the ancestral god sect. The consequences of provoking the ancestral god sect will be more severe than having another primal chaos city leader. At least in the original universe, the ancestral god sect is the guardian of the universe's rules. No one can beat it. I agree with the Queen. Our monster race wants to get rid of them as soon as possible, but how? The Silver Snakehead said. Our three races don't want to be enemies with the ancestral god sect, but can't we just ask the lone traveler, the strongest in the universe? The Black Sphere said. We're worried because we have things to worry about. But those few lone travelers aren't afraid at all. The ancestral god sect can't do anything to them, and they have nothing to worry about. Naturally, they dare to trespass into the core area of the ancestral god sect. Even if they kill Luofeng, what can the ancestral god sect do? The strongest lone traveler in the universe. The Silhouette and the Silver Snakehead hesitated. That price won't be small. The Silhouette said. To get the strongest lone traveler to the core area of the ancestral god sect to kill the absolute geniuses of humanity. This will offend the ancestral god sect and incur the hatred of Hugh Jax. Even though those lone travelers don't care, the moment they are invited, the price will definitely be high. The Silver Snakehead said. Each of you give me 3 top treasures. I'll invite them. The Black Sphere said. 3 top treasures? The Silhouette and the Silver Snakehead hesitated. Following which, the Silhouette said, even if your automaton race gives me 3 more, a total of 9 treasures, that's equivalent to 1 pinnacle treasure. 1 pinnacle treasure to invite a lone traveler's strongest in the universe to do such a thing, that's not easy. Who are you inviting? Mountain guest? Shihua Island leader? No need to ask any further. Each of you give me 3 top treasures and I'll invite the strongest in the universe. If I can't invite him, then I'll return them. I won't go so far as to cheat you out of these 3 treasures. Alright, I agree. 3 treasures to get rid of the human Luofeng, I'll agree too. The Silhouette and the Silver Snakehead said. Very good. That huge oval black sphere immediately vanished. Following which, the Silhouette and the countless silhouettes and the Silver Snakehead all vanished. The starry sky returned to its previous tranquility. Who would have known that the 3 strongest beings of the universe had once conversed here? P.S. Chapter 2 has arrived. Tomato continues writing the 3rd chapter. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:25. On a vital planet in the human domain. A hunchbacked, green-skinned old man with tentacles stood in an alley of a bustling city. He stood in front of a dispirited young man. Child, you are so young and full of vigor. Your future is limitless. Why are you so dispirited, without any will to fight? The green-skinned old man spoke hoarsely. The dispirited young man sat on the ground, leaning against the wall. His eyes were filled with sorrow. He shook his head. There's no hope anymore. I've tried my best, but they're too strong. Although they aren't the strongest in this city, they aren't something an ordinary person like me can resist. They keep toying with me. They don't kill me because they treat me like a toy. Life is full of miracles. The green-skinned old man spoke hoarsely. Nothing is eternal. The universe is even more mysterious. Anything can happen. Is that so? The dispirited young man glanced at the green-skinned old man, then lowered his head and continued drinking. Yes, anything can happen. The green-skinned old man smiled and nodded. The dispirited young man was startled. He sat there in a daze, holding the bottle of wine. The smile on the old man's face grew wider and wider. 5 seconds later, the dispirited young man woke up. The dispirited young man's eyes were sharp, his aura completely different. He scanned the surroundings with vigilance, but when he saw this ordinary alley and the hunchbacked old man, he was stunned. He revealed a look of disbelief. I. How did I return to 100,000 years ago? I'm already a sector lord. What's going on? This is an illusion, it can't be so real, but… Child. The hunchbacked old man spoke. You are. The dispirited young man stared at the hunchbacked old man. You're the old man who guided me back then? Back then, wasn't it just now? The hunchbacked old man smiled and vanished into thin air. The dispirited young man was stunned for a long time. Domain. The dispirited young man looked around, his will move. Although his telekinesis was weak, under the guidance of a sector lord's will, it formed a weak flame domain. It's real, everything is real. Everything that happened is real. I cultivated all the way to becoming a sector lord, is it all real? But, how did I return to the most painful time? Travel back to the past? No. The dispirited young man was different from before. He now had the heart of a strong warrior. Even if you reverse time, you won't be able to travel to the past. In other words, I experienced an illusion. But what kind of illusion could allow me to live in it for 100,000 years? And become a world overlord? Moreover, he comprehended a portion of the laws? The dispirited youth's eyes widened in horror. He looked around and shouted, "Senior, senior, senior," however, there was no one to be seen. The dispirited young man shook his head. Unfortunately, I missed a great opportunity. If he could follow by that senior's side, becoming an undying would be easy. It's incredible, but I've already benefited a lot. Humph, that group of bastards, I killed you in the illusion. This time, I will make you feel despair again. Then, the decadent youth left the alley. He, the hunchbacked, antenna-horned old man stood where he was, watching the dispirited young man leave, and smiled. From beginning to end, the hunchbacked old man didn't move at all. However, if he wanted the dispirited young man to see him, he could see him. If he wanted the young man to not see him, he could not see him. Buzz, a powerful will traversed the endless space-time, suddenly descending upon this planet, descending upon this alley. The surrounding space was slightly distorted. An oval black ball appeared in the alley, speaking, "Stone, you are known as a demon god. Even universe lords fear you, yet you have the mood to help that punk. If I want to kill, I'll kill. If I want to save, I'll save. If I want to bestow favors, I'll bestow favors. If that punk had knelt in the alley and begged me, begging to see me, I would have immediately killed him." The hunchbacked old man turned to look at the black ball. "Automaton, this is the human domain, your will descended here to find me?" "Yes." The oval black ball floated in mid-air, the surrounding space was unstable, indistinct. "I'm asking you to kill a punk. Is he very strong?" the hunchbacked old man said. "Human Luophone," the oval black ball said. "Luophone?" The hunchbacked old man nodded. "I know this punk. After returning from the cosmic sea, news about him spread like wildfire. No wonder you came. Your automaton race, the bug race and the demon race all want to kill him. Tell me, where is he now?" "Ancestral God Sect, Purple Thorn Island," the oval black ball said. Ancestral God Sect. The hunchbacked old man was no longer as calm and natural as before. His eyes stared and a black light flickered. "Automaton, I don't care about that huge axe, I can help you kill that punk. However, he's in the core area of the Ancestral God Sect. You want me to barge into the core area and kill their inheritor. It's said that the sect even gave him treasures, obviously they value this Luophone. Back then I helped you once, this time I've returned the favor." The distant black ball spoke. "I owe you one." The hunchbacked old man said hoarsely, "All right, I'll agree. Give me his details." Pinnacle Universe Overlord Strength. His god body is comparable to a rare life form, and he has the ability to clone himself. Just destroying his body alone won't work. You have to use your soul to destroy his entire body. Or soul control. However, soul control is obviously much harder. The black ball said, "Stone, you're an illusion type, the strongest in the universe. If you can't do it, no warrior in the primeval universe will be able to do it. Alright, I'll leave now, I know you're all getting impatient. The hunchbacked old man said. Then I'll wait for your good news. The oval black ball said. What? The two disappeared one after the other. The surrounding space shook a little before returning to normal. And the normal humans in the city didn't even notice this. Ancestral God's secret region, space outside the five-colored extreme light lake. A completely black alien race being stood in the air, surrounded by black air currents. The black air currents covered his entire body, and only a pair of dark eyes could be vaguely seen. Human Luo Feng? To be able to make one of the strongest in the universe invite another to kill you, you should be proud. Purple Thorn Island. Luo Feng's mansion was built in the Jiangnan style, with bridges and streams, pavilions and terraces. Luo Feng sat in front of a table, drinking wine and pondering about the path of the beast god. He really liked these peaceful days of training. However, Luo Feng was clear. He seemed very safe in the ancestral god sect. However, the longer it dragged on, the more anxious the bug race, the demon race and the automaton race would be. After all, how could the top three races stand by and watch him grow? They would definitely think of a way to kill him. And he had the talent to create clones. If they destroyed one of his clones with just a physical attack, they wouldn't be able to achieve the result they wanted. Hence, if they wanted to kill him, they would definitely attack his soul, or use it to completely destroy him, just like how the UNMO planet master died back then. Or his soul would be controlled. Luo Feng naturally didn't dare to be careless when his earth body appeared out in the open. He always carried the soul treasure, Pearl, and wore the pinnacle treasure, Calamity Armor. The Calamity Armor had the ability to weaken soul attack. Most importantly, a weak soul-type treasure might directly collapse in the face of some soul attack. However, the Pagoda Pearl was one of the control cores of the Star Tower. It was the proof that it recognized its owner. Even if a powerful treasure attacked it, it would not shatter. Although its defensive power was only at the level of a normal treasure, it was definitely trustworthy. Pearl, Calamity Armor, along with my Universe Lord willpower and consciousness, Luo Feng thought. His powerful god body, endless god energy, gave him a powerful consciousness. Universe Lord level. Training time and time again, the life and death inheritance evolution, 180 million years of training, allowed his willpower to reach the Universe Lord level. With this to rely on, Luo Feng naturally had more confidence. Luo Feng, who was sitting there holding a glass of wine and pondering about the path of the beast god, suddenly looked up at the sky. He couldn't feel anything wrong. He looked up. High up in the sky, below the rainbow lake, a silhouette surrounded by endless black energy appeared. Under the shroud, it was impossible to see clearly, only a pair of eyes could be seen. What kind of eyes were those? Luo Feng felt a shiver just from looking at it. Not good. That shiver that came from his soul made Luo Feng immediately understand. This feeling of helplessness was only felt when meeting the space primogenitor and mountain passenger. It's the strongest of the universe. Luo Feng immediately understood. What? A formless attack descended. Purring, 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 purring. 100 meters above Luo Feng, a gigantic crack suddenly appeared out of nowhere. No, it wasn't a crack. It was a clash between two space. The space around the black energy silhouette was completely controlled, the universe laws within were all retracted, everything was under the control of that black energy silhouette. The space below too was being controlled, one above, one below, the two actually clashed 100 m above Luo Feng. It was even more terrifying than a collision between planets. The two formless space clashed, the two powerful willpower controlling their own space. As the space clashed, cracks appeared. What? Luo Feng was stunned. After all, his strength far surpassed the pinnacle of the Universe Lords. He could even compete with the universe lords. His willpower and consciousness was extremely strong too, hence he immediately determined that there was another strongest being below. Two strongest of the universe? They're exchanging blows? Luo Feng was stunned. Hua Hua Hua, the highest five-colored lake in the sky, was truly going berserk. This was the first time Luo Feng had seen it so berserk. The endless five-colored lake was like a lake in the sky collapsing, rumbling. The endless aurora rushed downwards, rushing towards the black mist silhouette. The black mist silhouette didn't move at all, instead it let out an angry roar. Ancestor God, you want to stop me? Demon God Su Zhen, this is my ancestral god Sek's territory. A powerful voice resounded. P.S. 3 chapters completed. I've written too late. Tomorrow's 2 chapters will definitely be at night. I'll inform you beforehand. Tomato will post a summary chapter of 2011 in a while, to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:26. Ancestor God? Luo Feng followed the voice and turned to look. Not far from his mansion, a silhouette rose from a normal palace. This was a 10 m tall foreign race warrior with 6 arms and 2 thick legs. He had a face on the front and back of his head. The front face was white and looked very benevolent. He had a smile on his face that made people involuntarily feel affected. The back face was pitch black and looked very ferocious. It was filled with killing intent. Each of his 6 arms was holding onto 6 short rods. Each of the short rods had 4 edges, and it was somewhat similar to the Jian weapon from Earth's history. Of these 6 Jian, 3 were black and 3 were white. At the same time, each of the black and white Jian had an aura flowing, forming a cycle of black and white airflow. The ancestor god is beside me? Luo Feng was shocked. He had been training on Circe's island for 62 years. He didn't know there was an ancestor god living beside him. The ancestor god's benevolent face looked towards the sky. His voice passed through the space he controlled and reached the Void Demon God. Void Demon God, quickly retreat. I'll treat it as though you were never here. Haha, so it's the dual-faced ancestor god. What a big talk. You actually dare to be so arrogant in front of me. Others might be afraid of your ancestor god sect, but I, Void, have never cared. I go wherever I want to go. Who can stop me? Today, I want to kill this human Luo Feng. You can't stop me either. As the black foggy figure in the sky sneered, the space-time he controlled came pressing down on them once again. Rumble. The pressure from the cosmic space he controlled seemed to be even stronger than before. Pung. The dual-faced ancestor god looked up. The space he controlled also rushed upwards. Rumble. 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 At the same time the 2 universes clashed, the endless 5-colored lake finally pressed downward. The countless auroras became extremely small and gathered together, forming a golden pillar of light. Everywhere it passed, it was silent. The space controlled by the Void Demon God seemed to have been cut, revealing a space ravine. An absolute treasure is indeed powerful. Luo Feng looked up and was shocked. That part of the universe space is completely controlled by the Demon God. His words are law and the laws of the universe have retreated. This is even more powerful than the master of the universe's ability to control spacetime. However, in the face of a supreme treasure, it's useless. The golden light pillar silently bombarded the ground below. Wherever it passed, a dark spatial ravine extended towards the Void Demon God. Demon God Void suddenly raised his head. Black fog filled the air. You want to hurt me with the 5-colored Aurora Lake? Get lost. The Void Demon God let out a roar. As he roared, an armor that caused the space to tremble immediately appeared. It was a mysterious armor that was stained with specks of golden blood. The armor fused with every inch of the Void Demon God's body. The moment the armor appeared, a dark void that was over 10 meters wide appeared around it. The golden beam of light blasted down. The blood-stained armor directly withstood it. Pring 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 pring, almost as though space was exploding inch by inch, like countless firecrackers going off. In an instant, the space around the void demon god completely crumbled into particles. However, the space controlled by the ancestor god was very stable and wasn't affected at all. Luo Feng's gaze pierced through the particles and saw the evil void demon god's silhouette. After this clash, the void demon god slightly sank down and the golden beam of light immediately crumbled. Haha, I have an absolute treasure protecting me. I've roamed the universe sea and nobody has been able to kill me. Who do you think you are? Haha. Along with an insolent roar, universe space shatter. Rumble. The black fog silhouette fiercely descended. One could vaguely see his right leg stomping down fiercely. The void fiend celestial wore an ancient combat boot on his right foot. Clearly, it was one of the components of the paramount treasure that protected his body. The ancient combat boot. Just by stomping downwards, it caused space-time to completely distort. The flow of time became chaotic as space shattered. Pring pring pring, the universe space controlled by the ancestor god also shattered inch by inch. It couldn't stop this stomp at all. Void demon god, you're too presumptuous. The two-faced ancestor god's black face appeared in front of him. He looked above ferociously and his expression was filled with killing intent. With a roar, he rushed upwards. Each of his 6 arms had a god truncheon. As he waved his 6 truncheons, 3 black energy flows and 3 white energy flows formed. They combined and formed a complex black and white energy flow diagram. Black and white energy flow diagram. He rushed upwards. His right leg stomped downwards. Rumble, the moment the two clashed, the void demon god had an absolute treasure. The ancestor god's 6 truncheons were all pinnacle treasures too. With the 6 pinnacle treasures stacked together, the void demon god only had the defensive power of the treasures. In terms of offensive power, the ancestor god and the void demon god weren't much different. Void scram. The two-faced ancestor god's 6 arms waved outwards, forming a complex black and white energy flow diagram. The 6 truncheons actually stacked together and supported each other. The void demon god's legs stomped downwards. The space they controlled was trembling. Luo Feng felt the surrounding space tremble. This made his expression change. He wanted to escape. However, the space controlled by the ancestor god was still safe. The moment he escaped, he would be in danger. What's more, the 2 strongest warriors of the universe were battling. It caused the space they controlled to tremble and become unstable. He couldn't even create his god country to teleport away. I can't escape either. There's actually the strongest warrior of the universe coming to kill me. Luo Feng stared hard at the battle between the 2 strongest warriors of the universe. Even though their battle was completely restricted to that space was constantly condensing into particles. Even though he didn't personally feel it, Luo Feng could vaguely deduce. It was terrifying. The void demon god was using his protective treasure. The ancestor god was using the 6 black and white truncheons. Even the universe lord would probably be destroyed. Void demon god, since you're still not leaving, don't blame me. 5-color Aurora Lake. The ancestor god roared. The 5-color Aurora Lake that had been attacking with only a portion of the 5-color Aurora began to shrink. One had to know that the 5-color Aurora Lake was a treasure that covered a few light years. At this time, it had completely shrunk. Countless Aurora became the size of rice grains and condensed into a 5-color huge blade. Slash. The 5-color huge blade slashed downwards. The ancestor god wielded his 6 truncheons and attacked again. Damn ancestor god, you actually! Void fiend celestial roared angrily. As he withstood the 5-colored Aurora Lake's 5-colored sword, he also had to withstand the ancestor god's 6 divine truncheons attacks. Immediately, he became flustered and suffered several attacks. His divine body was somewhat drained. "You're forcing me!" The void demon god looked up and roared. The surrounding space immediately began to crack. Even the ancestor god was forced to retreat. The five-color huge blade couldn't even get close. In an instant, the ancestor god and the five-color huge blade couldn't even get close. The void demon god emitted an overwhelming aura. It was simply ridiculously strong. Luo Feng, who was watching from below, was dumbstruck. The legendary strongest warrior of the universe was restricted by the universe origin laws. His true strength should only be slightly stronger than the universe lord's. However, it shouldn't be this ridiculously strong. The ancestor god and the strongest treasures couldn't even get close? Void demon god, this is the primal universe. You actually dare to mess around? The ancestor god roared. Yeah. The void fiend celestial's might was overwhelming, and it completely ignored the five-colored greatsword as it punched downwards. At that moment, a golden chain suddenly appeared in the void and wrapped itself around the void fiend celestial's arm, preventing its punch from landing. No! The void demon god was shocked. Another aquamarine chain extended out of the void, directly binding the void demon god's other arm. An aquamarine chain also extended out of the void. Chains that were born out of the void, each of them silent, yet with irresistible power, they bound the void demon god's body layer by layer. Damn! The void demon god roared furiously, but his aura continued to weaken. It was so weak that it was even weaker than when the battle had just begun. Only then did the chains that had extended out from the void around him gradually fade. Dual-faced ancestor god, this is the primal universe. If we were in the cosmic sea, you wouldn't even be my match. The void demon god looked below and roared. But this is the primal universe. The dual-faced ancestor god looked above coldly. Any one of us can defeat you. In the primal universe, no one can shake our ancestor god sect. We are the protectors of the universe origin laws. Naturally, we will receive the universe origin law's blessings. Give up. Unless you want to challenge the universe origin laws? The void demon god stared below. The dual-faced ancestor god looked at both sides. The two faced each other. Very good. The void demon god laughed angrily. In the cosmic sea, I will let your ancestor god sect know the consequences of angering me. The three of us never go to the cosmic sea, the dual-faced ancestor god said. The void demon god gritted his teeth. However, he could only suppress his rage. In the cosmic sea, the ancestor god sect couldn't be arrogant. However, in the primal universe, the ancestor god sect reigned supreme. Punk. The void demon god turned to look at the shocked Luo Feng. Count yourself lucky. Rumble. The void demon god fiercely rushed into the sky. His speed far exceeded the speed of light. He immediately broke through the five-colored lake and vanished. The chaotic and broken universe space had completely calmed down. The flowers and plants on Circe's island were intact, and the colorful Aurora Lake was floating calmly in the sky. Except for Luo Feng, the other inheritors on Circe's island only felt the space shake, but they didn't know what had happened. Luo Feng looked up at the sky and was stunned for a while. The ancestor god and the void demon god had both vanished. Luo Feng, come here. The ancestor god's voice suddenly resounded in his ears. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. The first day of the new year, requesting a guaranteed monthly ticket, to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:27. Luo Feng, who was beside the railing, turned to look below, only to see a silhouette standing in the courtyard of his residence. It was the two-faced ancestor god. Ancestor god. Luo Feng immediately flashed and arrived below. The two-faced ancestor god's kind face looked at Luo Feng, making him feel like he was bathed in the spring breeze. Luo Feng said gratefully, Thank you, Ancestor God, for saving me. The five-colored Aurora Lake enveloped the entire core area of the Ancestor God sect. The sudden disappearance of the five-colored Aurora Lake had indeed attracted the attention of many islands: the Octagonal Beast God Temple, the Octagonal Beast God Temple, and the 72 Divine Generals continents. How big of a deal was it for the five-colored light lake to disappear? Even though it quickly returned to normal, it still caused endless discussion. The five-colored light lake is an absolute treasure. Unless it's in a critical moment, it won't be fully used. Usually just a little bit of light is enough to destroy the enemy. It disappeared in an instant just now. The five-colored light lake must have gone all out. Just who was it? Who provoked the five-colored light lake to go all out and attack? The Ancestral God sect had a large number of outer members. They usually lived on other islands. They discussed and secretly sent the news back to their respective powers. Even though they were outer members, like Jiu Feng Knight, even though he was a candidate god, he was definitely loyal to humanity. With the Ancestral God sect as the core, the news spread swiftly. The Ancestral God sect's treasure, the five-colored light lake, was used once and instantly disappeared, only recovering after a while. Something big must have happened. To be forced to this extent, could it be that the strongest warrior of the universe invaded the core area of the Ancestral God sect? The other 9 superpowers of the universe were not fools. Very quickly they had their own deductions. This was especially so for the bug race, demon race, and automaton race, the 3 highest existences. They were all secretly anticipating this. This was because after the automaton race's godfather had invited the virtual demon god, he had immediately informed the demon race and bug race. He had already invited the strongest experts of the universe. Killing Luo Feng must have angered the Ancestral God sect. Haha, as long as we kill Luo Feng with that Hard Rock's ability, he can easily leave. The news quickly spread to the outside world, but Luo Feng didn't know about it. Especially on Circe's Island, because the dual-faced ancestor god controlled the universe space, so the inheritors on Circe's Island didn't see the five-colored Aurora Lake disappear and reappear. What? Luo Feng couldn't help but be shocked. Ancestor god, you've always been protecting me, ha ha ha. The two-faced elder god laughed. I'm the immortal from your neighboring residence. Of course no one on Circe's Island would be able to detect my appearance. It's him. An image of a two-headed silver wolf demon undying appeared in Luo Feng's mind. If I hadn't been living next door to you, how would I have been able to save you in time if I had been at the Ancestor God Palace when you suddenly encountered danger? The two-faced ancestral god said with a smile. Demon god Void Truth is so powerful that he appeared on Circe's Island in an instant. If I had been in the Ancestral God Palace, I'm afraid that by the time I arrived, you would have died and your soul would have been controlled. Soul controlled? Luo Feng frowned. According to what he knew, the strongest expert in the universe was only slightly stronger than the strongest lord of the universe. The difference was not too ridiculous. His will and consciousness were at the level of a lord of the universe, and he had the tribulation armor to weaken soul attacks. He also had one of the Star Pagoda's components, the Pagoda Pearl, to guard his soul. He shouldn't be that weak, right? You don't believe me? The two-faced ancestral god smiled at Luo Feng and shook his head. He's called Demon God Void Truth? Why is he called Void Truth? It's because his illusions are exactly the same as reality. Illusions? Reality? Luo Feng was shocked within. The moment you fall into his illusions, you will still be able to sense the universe origin laws and train. The comprehension of the laws within will be completely real. The two-faced ancestral god smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. Of course, the moment you leave the illusions, you will realize that your body hasn't changed at all. Only your willpower and memories will change. Of course, the laws you train in must be ones he knows. If he doesn't, naturally he won't let you train in them. Luo Feng was shocked within. One could even train in illusions? This was very similar to the virtual universe. Not right. The virtual universe allowed countless life forms to enter at the same time, and they could train in any law within. It was no different from reality. And the true absolute warriors would be able to clearly differentiate between the virtual world and reality. They wouldn't get mixed up. Only the weaker normal humans who stayed in the virtual world for long periods of time would get mixed up. And the moment one's willpower became strong, they wouldn't get mixed up. Therefore, there was a fundamental difference between the virtual universe and the illusory realm. The illusory realm was more upright, like another universe, the universe of consciousness. The moment you fall into his illusions, you may instantly spend 10,000 years in them, or even longer. The two-faced ancestral god said. Won't this be used for training? Luo Feng was shocked. A very powerful way to save time. No. The two-faced ancestral god walked on the stone path beside the pond. Maintaining the illusions consumes a large amount of god energy, and he has to use all his strength. Making a normal human fall into an illusion for a long period of time is very easy. However, making a universe lord fall into an illusion and spend 10,000 years in it, the amount of god energy used is ridiculous. How can you use it for training? What's more, the path you're walking on, the demon god might not know. However, his strongest technique is his illusions. The ancestral god looked at Luo Feng. I've lived beside you for 62 years, silently observing you for so long. I can deduce, your willpower and consciousness should have reached the universe lord level. Your god body too is comparable to a unique life form. Luo Feng was shocked. Terrifying. He didn't even battle, just observing in the dark. He was able to deduce this after a long period of observation. Even his primal Chaos City leader teacher had to deduce this in the primal universe. Killing you with a soul is as difficult as killing a universe lord. However, the demon god can do it. The ancestral god nodded. The demon god's illusions are terrifying. With the universe lord's willpower and consciousness, one has to at least have a top-level soul-type treasure to not fear his illusions. And this is when his strength is restricted by the universe laws. One has to have a top-level soul-type treasure. Luo Feng held his breath. A top-level soul-type treasure, comparable to a pinnacle treasure's value, even amongst the universe lords, more than half didn't have one. You have to know he's the strongest in the universe, the most terrifying in terms of illusions. The two-faced ancestral god looked at Luo Feng. Normal soul-type treasures, his godly energy can instantly tear through them. Even high-level soul-type treasures can't protect them. This is a fact proven by his battle records. Luo Feng nodded, memorizing it. This information was considered top secret. For the two-faced ancestral god to tell him, it was a huge favor. Actually, the two-faced ancestral god was able to hide beside him for a total of 62 years, which meant that ever since his fame exploded, provoking the Bug Clan, Demon Clan and Automaton Clan to kill him, the two-faced ancestral god had been hiding beside him. The armor can only weaken one level. Just the pearl, is that not enough? Looks like I have to bring the Star Pagoda with me at all times. Luo Feng thought. The moment the pearl returned to the Star Pagoda, it would shrink and sit within Luo Feng's body, naturally protecting his soul. The Star Pagoda, it had attack, soul type, flying palace type, sealing and many other effects. Even though it only had soul type effects, the entire Star Pagoda within his body, according to Luo Feng's judgment, it was comparable to a pinnacle soul-type treasure. At least Luo Feng felt it was completely different. Just as Mountain Passenger said with the Star Pagoda, he feared no one. His strongest defense was to hide within the Star Pagoda. Be it material attacks or soul attacks, the Star Pagoda could completely defend against them. Hiding within, even the strongest of the universe couldn't do anything to him. Of course, doing that would also reveal that he had the Star Pagoda that would definitely attract the jealousy of the pinnacle existences of the universe. There was no such thing as guarding for 1,000 days, being watched by the strongest of the universe. He couldn't always stay within the star pagoda. The moment he was careless, he would be in danger. Next time I'll place the star pagoda within my body and protect my soul. I've still underestimated the universe's strongest expert. It's said that the universe's strongest expert is only slightly stronger than the strongest lord of the universe. I didn't expect them to be so powerful, looks like. I've underestimated the power of the universe lords too. Luo Feng thought. He always thought that after stepping into the universe night level, he would be able to spar with the universe lords. However, Luo Feng suddenly realized there were strong and weak universe lords too. The weak ones, he might be able to spar with them. However, the strong ones like the primal Chaos City leader, they were only slightly weaker than the Void Demon God. From the Void Demon God's performance, the pinnacle of universe lords were probably much stronger than him. Absolute treasure star pagoda to protect my soul, calamity armor to protect my body, 90,000 kilometers long god body. The strongest of the universe shouldn't be able to do anything to me. I have to quickly retrieve the star pagoda. Luo Feng felt that he was overconfident. The power displayed by the strongest of the universe this time woke him up. The two-faced ancestor god turned and looked at Luo Feng. The news of you killing the Blurry Light Leader and Zhongzhan Knight has spread, especially when you appeared on Purple Thorn Island. The other two ancestor gods and I have discussed about you. The bug race, automaton race and demon race will endure for a while, but as time goes on, they might make a move. Hence, on the second day of your arrival, I stayed in the palace beside yours. Thank you, ancestor god. Luo Feng said. This heart, he had to remember. Repay kindness with kindness. You are the one our ancestor god sect has the highest hopes for in the recent long years. Your potential is even stronger than Purple Rain Knight. The two-faced ancestor god smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. Our ancestor god sect hopes for you to grow to a level comparable to your teacher, the primal Chaos City leader. At that time, we will give you the position of guardian god leader. The first day of the new year, asking for monthly votes and recommendation vote. Damn, isn't Tomato a little too vicious? However, throwing it all at Tomato will be very excited. Asterisk to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:28. Protector God Leader? Luo Feng was shocked. 9 Underworld Leader was the Protector God Leader of the Ancestral God Sect. The Protector God Leader was already the highest level of the outer members of the Ancestral God Sect. His position was second only to the Elder God, comparable to the Beast God. No wonder he helped me so much. He thinks highly of me and wants me to become the Protector God Leader. Luo Feng thought. Right now, I'm facing the strongest of the universe, and I still need the protection of the strongest treasures. However, the moment I step into the Universe Lord level, my God energy will rise again, and my consciousness will naturally rise again. At that time, even if I don't use any soul treasures, I won't have to fear the illusionary demon god anymore. Luo Feng thought. Right now, his strength was very strong, and he dared to fight the Universe Lords. However, against the strongest of the universe, he still had to rely on the Star Pagoda to protect himself. It seemed like the strongest of the Universe Mountain Guest was the most accurate. Back then he said that Luo Feng relied on the Star Pagoda to dominate the universe without fear. The other meaning of this was that without the Star Pagoda, Luo Feng still couldn't reach a level where he didn't have to fear anyone in the universe. Understanding the intentions of the Ancestral God Sect, Luo Feng was still grateful. After all, they only did this because they thought highly of him. And according to his investigations, the Ancestral God Sect indeed had no conflicts with the human race. Plus the Ancestral God Sect had promised back then The moment one joined an outer member, like a human, they definitely wouldn't let the human warriors deal with the human race. They could even reject certain missions. Since Demon God Illusionary tried to deal with you once, you should know how much the Bug Clan, Automaton Clan and Demon Clan want to kill you. The two-faced Elder God looked at Luo Feng. Think carefully about what you should do. Luo Feng nodded. Of course there's no need to panic. Demon God Illusionary is the strongest in the universe. What kind of status does he have? To invite him to act, the price won't be low. Since he had already tried once and failed again, at the very least, Void Demon God definitely wouldn't come to the Ancestor God sect to assassinate him a second time. It wouldn't be easy to invite another strongest expert of the universe. I'm afraid the Bug Clan, Automaton Clan and Demon Clan won't be willing to do it. After all, after failing once, if he fails again, wouldn't that be akin to giving away treasures? The two-faced Elder God smiled. Think carefully about what you should do. I'll return to the Ancestral God Palace. The two-faced Elder God immediately turned and left. With just 3 steps, his silhouette blurred and vanished. Return to Ancestral God Palace? Luo Feng nodded within. What kind of status did the Ancestor God have? It was already a great favor for him to stay by the side and help him once. He couldn't always be his bodyguard. Let's return to God Nation first. Luo Feng turned around and headed towards the living room of his mansion. He left Circe's Island and teleported back to the Divine Kingdom. The endless tranquil sea was constantly sensing the universe origin, absorbing divine power and continuing its transformation. After all, when he became a universe paragon from the immortal realm, only 1/8 of his body, a diameter of 10 billion kilometers, had completed the transformation and he was still improving. Star Tower. The silver-armored and winged Luo Feng stood on the surface of the ocean. In the distance, a golden horned beast flew over. The golden horned beast that had become 1,000,000 km long had a huge star pagoda on its head. The star pagoda had also become 100,000 kilometers long. These few years, the golden horned beast has been studying the engravings of the Star Tower. The engravings on the Star Tower were incomparably profound and complicated. Furthermore, there were layers upon layers, as though a group of mountains was shrouded in white fog, making it impossible for one to see through them. Luo Feng was currently like that too. He could only vaguely discern the 3 layers of engravings. He had only completely comprehended the first layer. Of course, the second layer was almost there. Come. Luo Feng extended his hand. Hua. The distant Star Tower immediately flew over. As it flew, it shrunk and landed in Luo Feng's palm. It was only the size of a walnut. Protect the soul. With a thought from Luo Feng, the star pagoda instantly drilled into Luo Feng's body and floated in the center of his chest. The original pagoda pearl naturally flew back into the star pagoda and returned to its original place. Just one pearl alone had the effect of protecting the soul. The most powerful treasure Star Tower in terms of protecting the soul, it was even stronger by who knows how many times. Hua hua hua, countless God energy threads spread out with the star pagoda as the core. It was almost like the star pagoda had set up a network, swiftly covering Luo Feng's entire body. Every bit of God energy and life force was completely protected together. This made Luo Feng exclaim, it was simply too powerful. The pearl protected the soul like a huge rock suppressing it. The Star Tower protected the soul, like a majestic mountain suppressing it. The stability was much stronger than before. As expected of a supreme treasure. Luo Feng was overjoyed. No wonder it was said that an absolute treasure could become a family treasure or a sect treasure. Even the strongest of the universe didn't have an absolute treasure. Even though I failed to invite the strongest of the universe to kill me the first time, the chances of a second time is very low. However, I can't be careless. Luo Feng immediately connected his consciousness to the virtual universe. Back then I tried to search for information on the strongest of the universe, but I couldn't find anything. And when the news spread, I was recognized as the pinnacle of the universe. My authority should have been raised. Virtual Universe, Thunder Island, Luo Feng's residence. In a tranquil hall. Through the window, one could see the endless Thunder Island below. Luo Feng sat at his desk, looking at his laptop. Indeed, my authority has been raised. Luo Feng looked and smiled. The last time, Luo Feng had the authority of a middle-level knight. And this time, it was a 7-star universe overlord authority. Master. The virtual universe assistant Babata's voice resounded. Of course this was only Babata's AI. Babata's true body was quietly training on Earth. With Luo Feng's resources, Babata had long stepped into the undying level. However, even an undying, he couldn't participate in battles at Luo Feng's level. Hence, he remained on Earth. However, the Luo family had many matters. Babata had provided some help. Search for the universe lords and strongest of the universe. Luo Feng ordered. Yes. Hua. Many messages immediately appeared on the screen. Luo Feng immediately opened the first one. Usually the first one was the one with the most information. The authority of a 7-star universe overlord is indeed different. Looks like some of the most important secrets have the authority to know. Luo Feng looked at the large amount of information and smiled in praise, reading on. The countless life forms in the universe were nurtured by the universe. Like the universe's children, they received the love of the universe. Unique life forms were born with eternal life. Normal life forms had to reach the undying level to have eternal life. Otherwise, they would only reach the end of their lifespan and fall. Generation after generation, they would grow and fall, from which undyings would emerge. Below the undying level, there was no need to say more. Undying, just comprehending one of the lowest origin laws, and with the help of the origin law ocean, they would transform into a god body, gaining eternal life. Universe lords, however, comprehended one of the space or time laws. Their god bodies were stronger, and their comprehension of the origin laws would reach a higher level. Universe lords, however, comprehended space and time, or one of the fusion laws of metal, wood, time, and wind. Only by reaching this level could one truly become the Lord of the universe. Once one became a universe lord, even the golden space beast god would be able to control space and time. This was a gift from the universe to them. Undying, Universe Knight, Universe Lord, these 3 levels, the universe origin laws had always been bestowed. Bestowed. And bestowed. Endlessly bestowed. With luck, they would be bestowed with natural techniques. Bestowed with complete control over space and time. Bestowed with the possibility of reviving through space and time. Even after becoming a universe lord, the universe origin laws still treated them like children, bestowing and protecting them, and during the training process, they would never intentionally disturb or destroy it. However, from the universe lord to the strongest of the universe, firstly, there was no clear path. Once a universe's strongest was born, the path he once walked would be sealed. Other experts would not be able to walk the same path and become the universe's strongest. Secondly, even after experiencing endless hardships, great wisdom, great luck, and great perseverance, one could finally break through the final bottleneck and take the final step. After becoming the invincible universe's strongest, the universe's strongest would be able to control the laws and laws themselves. Their strength was so great that their words would be law. At this time, they would instead be suppressed and restricted by the universe. From being a weakling to cultivating to becoming a universe lord, the universe had always favored them. The universe's strongest would instead be restricted and suppressed. Their strength would be suppressed, and they would only be able to unleash slightly more power than the strongest universe lord. Although they could only unleash this much power, their bodies were indeed extremely powerful. Thus, even reversing spacetime to revive an overlord of the universe was incomparably easy for them. Furthermore, once the universe's strongest killed a universe lord or a universe knight, one had to know that universe lords and supremacies were all protected by the universe origin laws. If they were truly killed, the universe's strongest would be punished by the universe origin laws. The stronger the killer, the heavier the punishment. For example, killing a universe lord, the punishment was nothing to the universe's strongest. The punishment for killing a master of the universe was much heavier. Of course, like the 9 underworld lord, primal chaos city leader, etc., some of the universe's strongest, even if they gave it their all and accepted the punishment to kill them, they still didn't have enough power to kill them, because the strength they could unleash was always limited. So it's like that. Luo Feng was dumbstruck as he watched. The universe nurtures all living beings, naturally it favors them, so the moment one becomes the universe's strongest, his identity changes, almost like he would be suppressed and restricted by the universe. Even killing universe knights and universe lords would result in punishment. How peculiar! Similarly, born from the endless primal universe, they've always been protected. However, the moment one becomes the universe's strongest, they have to be suppressed? And every strongest person in the universe must find a different path to break through? Luo Feng realized that the universe's strongest should have an even bigger secret. This secret was enough for the primal universe to suppress them, at least this secret. At least his 7-star authority didn't have the right to see it. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:29. Luo Feng leaned back and knocked his legs on the table. He closed his eyes and recalled all the information he had read about the universe lords and the strongest in the universe, thinking carefully. Universe lords have differences in strength. Unless the difference in strength is too huge, it's usually very hard to kill the other. The strongest in the universe are even stronger than the strongest universe lords by a little. However, their numbers are extremely rare. Just like our human race, we only have one creator of the huge axe. And if they kill a universe lord, they'll receive the universe's punishment. These two reasons lead to one result. The masters of the universe rarely perish. Luo Feng nodded. Universe lords rarely fall. It wasn't because of their strength, it was just one aspect. The other aspect was that some absolute beings weren't willing to pay too much of a price to attack, unless there were enough treasures to attract them. Just like on the primal star, the fight for the treasures would cause the universe lord to fall. What do I do? Automaton, Demon and Bug Clan have already invited the strongest to deal with me. What should I do? Luo Feng pondered. As long as one wasn't an idiot, they could guess that the demon god was definitely invited by the Bug Clan, Demon and Automaton Clan. I dodged once, the ancestor god helped me block it. The ancestor god helped me block it once, but he can't always be my bodyguard. What should I do next time? Even though the chances of the strongest attacking next time is very low, it'll be hard to not force the 3 large races to attack again. I'm afraid the next time will be even crazier. Luo Feng frowned as he pondered. It was very troublesome. He had the absolute treasure star pagoda. He wasn't afraid of the strongest at all. However, this was the problem. If one of the strongest attacked, and Luo Feng actually blocked it, an Apex Universe Lord actually blocked the strongest? That was simply the biggest joke in the world. As long as one wasn't stupid, one could guess. This Apex Universe Lord definitely had a powerful protective treasure, and an extremely powerful one at that. Otherwise, how could he survive against the strongest? As long as the strongest attacks me, if the ancestor god doesn't block it in time, I'll be exposed. Luo Feng frowned as he pondered. He definitely wouldn't be willing to die. He would definitely resist. Surviving under the attack of the universe's strongest, anyone would guess he had treasures, especially when the absolute treasure star pagoda disappeared and caused a huge commotion in the universe. At this crucial moment, Luo Feng was actually able to survive under the universe's strongest's attack unscathed. There would probably be many who suspected him. At that time, it will really be troublesome. There should be quite a number of the strongest experts in the cosmos eyeing the Star Tower. When that time comes, I won't even need the Bug Clan, Demon Clan, or Automaton Clan to ask for help. Those few universe's strongest warriors will all rush to my side. Don't tell me I'll have to live in the Star Tower every day? Luo Feng was troubled as he pondered. Within the study, Luo Feng closed his eyes and pondered. There are two ways. First, hide in the primal cosmos until you become a universe lord. However, stepping from the universe supremacy stage to the universe lord stage was an extremely difficult hurdle. Even if another 180 million years were to pass, it still might not be possible. What's more, the longer this drags on, the angrier and angrier the three insectoid races will become. It's even possible that they'll attack the Luo family. Battles between experts rarely involved clans. But that was only within the human race. The grudges and killings between human experts rarely affected the clans. As for the slaughter between the races, the foreign races were very crazy in their slaughter. Their final goal was to make the other race completely fall and disappear. They were willing to go to any length. Right now, with the ocean shadow that was even stronger than the average universe overlord guarding Earth, plus the fact that Earth itself was an important place with extremely tight security, unless they sent out a universe lord, otherwise there wouldn't be any problems. Second, let them think I'm the universe lord. Luo Feng thought. The reason why they're so anxious to kill me is because they're afraid I'll become the universe lord. The moment they confirm I'm the universe lord, they'll regret and think they've been too slow and that I've already broken through. Luo Feng thought, and even if they invite the universe's strongest, they won't easily agree to attack a universe lord. The universe's punishment is very severe. Two plans. Luo Feng very quickly eliminated the first plan. Who knew how long it would take to become a universe lord? There were many who were stuck at the universe lord level for countless years. And he hadn't even reached the 5th level of the Beast God Path. To completely accept the 7th level of the Beast God Path, that would take an extremely long time. Moreover, judging from Teacher Mountain Traveler's requirements for him, Mountain Traveler clearly hoped that he could temper himself and grow through battles, rather than hiding in a corner to cultivate. Hiding in a safe place to train, he probably wouldn't become a universe lord his entire life. Then, there's only the second plan. Disguise as a universe lord. My god body should be very close to a universe lord's body, almost the same. Luo Feng thought. According to his research, breaking through from a universe lord to a universe lord, the body would be 100 times stronger than before. Meaning, even the weakest universe lord's body would be as strong as a universe lord with 10,000 times the vitality. My body is similar. Willpower and consciousness is also at the universe lord level. Techniques 2. Luo Feng nodded. I have the pinnacle of the universe lord technique Golden Mountain and the ultimate technique Golden Light. If I unleash these two techniques frequently, and unleash my full universe lord strength, then, who would dare say I'm not a universe lord? The only weakness is that I can't control time and space. Controlling time and space, one could use it to suppress the opponent. One could also reverse time and revive other universe lords, undyings, etc. A universe lord level battle is extremely powerful. Controlling one area of time and space doesn't affect that level of battle at all. Controlling one area of time and space can only suppress the weak. Luo Feng thought, and no one has forced me to reverse time and space to revive anyone. Luo Feng thought carefully and nodded. It was completely doable. The most convincing thing was the secret technique. He had used 2 secret techniques at the Lord of the Universe level, the Golden Mountain and the Golden Light. As long as more super-existences knew about it, they would quickly determine that this was a Lord of the Universe level secret technique. And the engraving technique was obviously a secret. One had to become a Universe Lord to create the ultimate technique of the Universe Lord level. In a situation where the mysterious pattern school had yet to appear, this was common knowledge in the primeval universe. I can definitely succeed. Luo Feng nodded. I have to use battle to prove myself. Since Luo Feng had decided to let the trillions of races of the universe think he was a Universe Lord, then naturally he had to use battle to prove himself. Battle, he had to be convincing. Teacher Mountain Guest wants me to kill 10 Universe Lords or 1 Universe Lord, then he'll craft me the pinnacle treasures. For me to directly kill a Universe Lord, I have no confidence at all. And I've never battled with a Universe Lord before, the situation will probably be out of my control. This battle, I can't have any accidents. I have to do it beautifully. I have to shock the trillions of races of the universe, let them clearly recognize my strength as a Universe Lord. I have to let the bug race, demon race, and automaton race think. I've already broken through. If they kill me now, the price is too high, it's not worth it. Luo Feng immediately stood up. Babata! Luo Feng shouted. The virtual assistant's AI Babata immediately responded, Master. Gather the information of the demon race, automaton race and bug race, the 3 Universe Lords, along with their respective alliances. I want to look at them one by one and pick from them. Luo Feng said. He had already decided. His target was to pick from the 3 alliances. Yes. Hua. In just a moment, I've already finished gathering, this is the detailed information. Babata said. There is a lot of detailed information on every Apex Universe Overlord, including their growth, combat information, strength assessment, treasures, etc. Luo Feng nodded, ordering, one by one. After which Luo Feng began to carefully study the detailed information of these Universe Lords. Just as Luo Feng was picking his unlucky prey, a mail from the Primal Chaos City leader arrived. The content was simple, come quickly. Looking at this mail, Luo Feng immediately stopped picking his prey, immediately heading towards the peak of Thunder Island, the Primal Chaos City leader's shrine. Endless energy permeated the area. Before the shrine was a round table carved out of jade, with 2 silhouettes sitting opposite each other. One was the gold-robed Primal Chaos City leader, the other was an extremely tall and sturdy man with a dragon tail dressed in an ordinary battle robe. He sat there like a mountain. His tyrannical aura was evident. The moment Luo Feng arrived, with one look, he immediately determined that the person beside him was also a Universe Lord. Luo Feng, this is the dragon leader. The Primal Chaos City leader saw Luo Feng arrive and said, Teacher, Dragon Leader. Luo Feng bowed respectfully. Luo Feng. The Primal Chaos City leader turned. I'm indeed looking for you for an extremely important matter. According to our information, something big has just happened in the core area of the Ancestral God Sect. The other islands of the Ancestral God Sect all noticed the extremely powerful treasure, the 5-color Extreme Light Lake, vanishing for a moment before reappearing. Yet the inheritors of Purple Jing Island didn't notice anything. Do you know what this means? It means a part of space and time on Purple Jing Island has been controlled. All the warriors unknowingly didn't notice anything at all. Even though the Universe Lord can control a part of space and time, he can't make it so that the other Universe Lords on Purple Jing Island can't see or sense it. Only the universe's strongest. The universe's strongest covered up everything and the 5-color Extreme Light Lake disappeared. There's an 80 to 90% chance that one of the universe's strongest broke into the core area of the Ancestral God Sect. The Primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng. Did that universe's strongest go to kill you? 2 chapters completed. The monthly votes were now in second place. Tomato looked at everyone with tears in his eyes. Do you have any votes? If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for me, your monthly vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1130. The Primal Chaos City leader, and the other upper echelons of humanity, had just received the news and deduced that one of the strongest warriors in the universe had broken into Circe's Island. They immediately connected the dots. The Bug Clan, the Demon Clan, and the Automaton Clan had long wanted to kill Luo Feng. Since Luo Feng had been on Circe's Island all this time, the three top clans had been waiting anxiously for a long time. It wasn't impossible for the strongest warrior in the universe to kill Luo Feng. After coming to this conclusion, the Primal Chaos City leader was shocked. Fortunately, Luo Feng's consciousness had been connected to the virtual universe, so the Primal Chaos City leader knew that Luo Feng was still alive. That was why he wasn't anxious. But the Primal Chaos City leader was also confused. If the strongest warrior in the universe had come to kill Luo Feng, he shouldn't have failed, unless Luo Feng reacted quickly and self-destructed. If he hadn't come to kill Luo Feng, then what would happen? The strongest warrior in the universe is Demon God Su Zhen, said Luo Feng respectfully. Demon God Su Zhen? The Dragon leader and the Primal Chaos City leader were both shocked. He did come to Circe's Island to kill me. Luo Feng thought for a moment and decided to say it out loud. After all, from a normal point of view, he was a rising warrior in the human race. The Bug Clan and the other three clans were desperately trying to kill him, so the human race naturally had to protect him. He had been assassinated by the strongest warrior in the universe, so the human race should have done something about it. There was no need for him to fight all by himself. Let's see what the race would do first. He really came to kill you? The Primal Chaos City leader's eyes were filled with killing intent. Demon God Su Zhen went personally. How did you escape? The dragon leader couldn't help but ask. The Primal Chaos City leader also said, Demon God Su Zhen came personally. With his strength, your Circe's Island leader couldn't have stopped him. As for your ancestor god, he couldn't have stopped him in time. How did you? Teacher, it was the ancestor god who saved me, said Luo Feng respectfully. The dragon leader and the Primal Chaos City leader looked at each other. Actually, they had already deduced from the battle information that the inheritors of Circe's Island hadn't noticed the movement of the five-colored Aurora Lake. Only the ancestor god could use the five-colored Aurora Lake. But they didn't understand how the ancestor god could have had time to intervene. One had to know how fast the speed of a battle between experts was. If it weren't for the ancestor god, I'm afraid. Luo Feng shook his head and said, Ever since I was recognized as a top overlord of the universe, the ancestor god has been living in seclusion next to me since I entered Circe's Island. He has been my neighbor for the past 62 years. Neighbor? Dragon Travel Leader and Primal Chaos City Leader were shocked within, shocked at how much the ancestral god sect valued Luo Feng, to be able to get the highest-ranking ancestor god in the entire sect to be his bodyguard. This gesture was indeed beautiful, the highest being in the universe's #1 power personally staying by his side to protect him for so long, anyone would be touched. Where are you now? The Primal Chaos City Master asked. I'm not on Circe's Island right now, Luo Feng said. Don't go back yet. The bug race, automaton race and monster race have failed this time. It's hard to say if they won't try again next time. The Primal Chaos City Master instructed solemnly. Go and meditate first. I'll think about your matters. Yes. Luo Feng immediately bowed towards the two before him and vanished into thin air. The Dragon Leader and the Primal Chaos City Leader were deep in thought and didn't say anything. Primal Chaos. The Dragon Travel Leader finally spoke. Circe's Island isn't a safe place. The three races' desire to kill Luo Feng is terrifying. Back then it was just a guess, I didn't expect it to be true. Moreover, it's a demon god that specializes in illusions. It's truly the most terrifying existence to deal with a clone talent. I'll immediately inform Huge Axe and gather all the Universe Lords to discuss this matter. The Primal Chaos City Master couldn't hold it in any longer. When the human Universe Lords gathered again because of this matter, Luo Feng was in one of the halls of his palace flipping through the information of the top Universe Overlords. My human race, including myself, only has 4 top Universe Overlord. The automaton race has 4 top Universe Overlords. The demon race has a total of 21 top Universe Overlords. After all, the demon race has different levels of bloodlines. There are quite a few demon race with a clone talent, so the number of top Universe Overlords is extremely high. The bug race has 81 Universe Overlords and 2 top Universe Overlords. However, the bug race overlords, the moment they activate the bug C tactic, they can easily match up to the other race's top Universe Overlords. Luo Feng nodded within. The bug race was terrifying. A bug race queen, just based on her own strength, might only be a Universe Overlord. However, she could pay any price to create a group of Universe Knight-level bug soldiers. Even though only their bodies were strong, the Queen's consciousness could descend on each soldier, giving them extremely powerful battle abilities. The Automaton Alliance has a total of 12 top Universe Overlords. The Demon Races Alliance has a total of 16 Universe Overlords. The Bug Race Alliance has a total of 9 top Universe Overlords. Who should I choose? Luo Feng first eliminated the Bug Race. The Bug Race Queen herself wasn't terrifying, however she could control the powerful Bug Soldiers. Even if he could kill the Bug Soldiers one by one, the Bug Clan Queen could still take the opportunity while they were blocking Luo Feng and swiftly escape. Automaton Race? The Automaton Race had a total of 4 top Universe Overlords. Just like the human race had a total of 3, the treasures they had were all extremely powerful, and they were all in important areas of the Automaton Race. Just like the human leader Tian Shi and Star Hell Demon Lord were in important areas. The Demon Race. The Demon Race has a large number of top Universe Overlords, and they're scattered. Luo Feng looked at the information floating in mid-air. Suddenly he stared at one. It's him. Sky Flower Lord. Supremacy Tianhua was a top Demon Universe Overlord. He was second only to the Heavenly Wolf Clan's Lord and was the pride of the entire Heavenly Wolf Clan. He was the personal disciple of the Heavenly Wolf Clan's Lord and also the disciple of Demon Matriarch Dream. Sky Flower Lord? Sky Wolf Leader. Luo Feng laughed softly. He couldn't forget back when he came out of the ice prison. That high and mighty Sky Wolf Leader wanted to kill him. Luckily his Primal Chaos City Leader teacher appeared. Sky Flower Lord, you're unlucky. It's you. After deciding on his prey Sky Flower Lord, Luo Feng naturally began to search for detailed information and plans. Investigating his treasures, techniques etc., he wanted to understand his strength and where he usually stayed. However, when Luo Feng was planning, the Primal Chaos City Leader immediately contacted him. Luo Feng, come to the Primal Chaos Ruins to meet me. Yes. Without caring about anything else, since his teacher had given his orders, Luo Feng swiftly left the God Country and arrived at the Virtual Universe Company's headquarters. Sitting in the ship, through the Universe Pathway, he arrived at Primal Chaos City. Walking within the city leader's residence, the guards were all respectful. Primal Chaos Ruins. Within the vast Chaos Ruins, the Primal Chaos City leader sat crossed-legged. Only when Luo Feng approached did he open his eyes. Teacher. Luo Feng bowed. Hua. The Primal Chaos City leader casually waved his hand and a beam of light flew towards Luo Feng. Luo Feng extended his hand to receive it. Looking down, there was a triangular crystal in his palm. It was like an amethyst. On it there were beautiful ancient carvings. The entire crystal had a peculiar allure to it. This is one of the better high-level soul treasures. Its name is Yuxiang. the Primal Chaos City leader said. Yu Xiang? Luo Feng was shocked. Earlier, when he was exchanging for the top precious treasure, the Blood Shadow Blade, he'd scanned through many of the exchange catalogs. With his ability, he naturally had a photographic memory, and he clearly remembered that under the soul-type precious treasures, afterimage required a total of 620 precious points. High-level soul treasures were even more valuable than the normal top-level weapons. Top-level battle blades etc., normally 80 treasure points would be enough to exchange for them. However, high-level soul treasures, even the lowest would be 200 to 300 treasure points. Yu Xiang was even more of the best, at 620 treasure points. Of course, if it was a top-level soul treasure, then its value would be much higher. That was completely comparable to the 1000 treasure river, sword river etc. Normally it would require a few thousand treasure points. Teacher. Luo Feng looked up at the Primal Chaos City leader. It wasn't me who gave it to you, it was the clan who gave it to you. The Primal Chaos City leader smiled. This is a top-level soul treasure. Yu Xiang, it's worth multiple top-level weapons. This was the clan's final decision after they found out you were being chased by the demon god, to give you this Yu Xiang to protect your soul. Your willpower and consciousness has already reached the Universe Lord level, and Yu Xiang is also a top-level soul treasure. If you meet a demon god again, with Yu Xiang protecting your soul, at least you won't be invaded by the soul, much less controlled by it. You can easily self-destruct. The Primal Chaos City leader said. Luo Feng nodded. Indeed. If it was a true pinnacle overlord, even with a treasure protecting his soul, against the strongest of the universe, he still wouldn't be able to escape. Normally he would choose to self-destruct. Being able to self-destruct was already considered a success. Only Luo Feng was different. He had the absolute treasure star pagoda to protect his body, and the pinnacle treasure calamity armor to protect his body. Thank you, teacher. Luo Feng was still thankful. He indeed lacked a soul treasure. Even though he had the star pagoda, however, his earth body and the golden horned beast both required soul treasures. After acquiring this Yu Xiang, Luo Feng immediately made a decision. I'll let my earth body use it. He already had the calamity armor before, and it has the ability to weaken soul attacks. Yu Xiang and the calamity armor together, it's completely comparable to a pinnacle soul treasure. Then, I'll probably be able to withstand even that demon god's soul attack. The golden horned beast has the star pagoda, it'll have enough confidence. When I use the Blood Cloud Palace leader's identity to roam, I won't tarnish his reputation. Luo Feng made a decision within. This treasure indeed came at the right time. This Yu Xiang required 620 treasure points. Luo Feng's remaining treasures were all given to his clan, and he could only get a small portion of it. With this treasure, you can roam the universe. After all, it's not easy for the Bug Clan and the other two races to invite the strongest of the universe again. You don't have to worry too much. The Primal Chaos City Master said solemnly, your strength has already reached such a level. You must temper yourself in battle. Any master of the universe is born from the tempering of battle. You won't become a master of the universe if you just cultivate. Go. Yes. Luo Feng bowed and left. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:31. Looking at the comments section, Chasing Change, Moon, and many other brothers were shouting, Tomato, let's add one chapter for every 1,000 vote. This double 7-day period usually had more than 10,000 vote. If we play with adding chapters, it was normal to have more than 10,000 vote. Considering how powerful the Red Alliance brothers and sisters were, it was possible to have 20,000 vote. But now it was 5,000 vote. Let's say it was really 20,000 vote. Then, every 1,000 votes for a chapter, wouldn't that mean that he had to add 15 chapters? The pressure was not small. But since the brothers in the comments section were so passionate and the other authors had been updating very quickly, Tomato gritted his teeth. Wasn't it just a fight? He would stop updating tonight to prepare for the next plot. From tomorrow onwards, he would bury himself in writing. Now, his monthly votes were 5,000 votes. Every 1,000 votes, he would add 1 chapter. Of course, it was normal to maintain at least 2 chapters a day. As for the 2 chapters that were lacking this week, late update at noon and late update at night, they would also be updated later. Come on. Every 1,000 votes and 1 chapter. There would be guaranteed updates as well. From today, the 3rd of January at night to the 7th of January at midnight. During the double period, every 1,000 votes would add 1 chapter. Let me have 10 more chapters? 20 chapters? Come on. It had been a long time since I went crazy. Let's go crazy. How many monthly votes do you have? Go all out. Asterisk to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com and vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1132. After leaving the primal universe, Luo Feng returned to his god country. The waves were huge, and in the air above the endless sea floated a shrine shrouded in light. Luo Feng stood in the plaza before the shrine, and beside him was the majestic golden-horned beast. A 9-level pagoda appeared in Luo Feng's hand and flew towards the golden-horned beast. From today onwards, the golden-horned beast will use the star pagoda. Earth body will use the Wu killer wings, the armor and the afterimage. Luo Feng nodded. This arrangement was indeed the best. As the golden-horned beast had another identity as the Blood Cloud leader, hence it had the Blood Cloud Pearl, and the pearl itself had the ability to disguise itself. To be able to change one's life energy, to be able to change the appearance of treasures, etc. Even though it was hard to evaluate the level of the Blood Cloud Pearl, Mountain Passenger had paid a huge price to make it. During normal battles, the Star Pagoda would shrink to the size of a spike. However, the moment it was enlarged, anyone would be able to notice something fishy. However, with the Blood Cloud Pearl, one could completely change the appearance of the Star Pagoda. The Blood Cloud Pearl itself had the ability to disguise and change one's appearance. That way, no one would be able to recognize it. Even the Primal Chaos City leader teacher said that training alone won't allow me to become a universe lord. He told me to train through battles. Just like what he said. Luo Feng nodded within. That day, Virtual Universe Thunder Island. In a pavilion outside Luo Feng's palace, the Luo family's attendants prepared an exquisite banquet. Luo Feng and Yingzhou Knight sat opposite each other. The triangular head thick and sturdy man, Yingzhou Knight, seemed a little reserved. He said, "Knife River, there's no need to prepare wine for you to find me. If there's anything you need, just say it, I'll definitely do my best." Yingzhou Knight wasn't dumb at all. What a joke, the Luo Feng before him was comparable to the Tianshi Palace leader, the Ancestral Tree Knight and the Star Hell Demon Lord. Which knight wouldn't want to befriend him? There's indeed something I need to trouble you with. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. Yingzhou Knight said, "It's just that my power is limited. I'm afraid I won't be able to do it well." "Very simple," Luo Feng said. "Help me find the demon race Tianhua Knights' coordinates." Places like the bar had large amounts of universe knights gathered, and people like the Tianshi Palace leader and the Star Hell Demon Lord rarely appeared. Luo Feng couldn't just stroll around there every day. He didn't have the time either. "Track my whereabouts?" Yizhou's eyes lit up. "Leave this to me. I don't dare speak of other things, but in terms of fighting and killing, I'm average amongst the universe's paragons, but in terms of searching for information," Luo Feng smiled and nodded. For instance, when the experts in the open-air bar were conversing, some of the important information would be shielded from voice transmissions. Therefore, even if one were to stroll around, it would be very difficult to gather too much information. At this point, he had to rely on his connections. Exalt Yuan Zhou could be said to be an all-rounder, and he was extremely skilled at gathering information. Naturally, he had a wide network of friends and could gather a great deal of information. Supremacy Tianhua should be on the primitive star. Supremacy Guizhou laughed. Actually, most of the demon race's peak universe overlords roam the primordial stars. According to the news I received, Supremacy Tianhua once appeared on primordial star number 02002 more than 1,000 years ago. However, as you know, Blade he, the pinnacle of the universe overlords all move alone. In the blink of an eye, he left. Later on, as I didn't intentionally gather information on him, I'm not sure either. However, I estimate that he should be on the primitive star. Luo Feng nodded satisfactorily. Then I'll have to trouble you. No problem, no problem. Blade he, if you have such information, feel free to look for me. Izhou patted his chest loudly. He was very clear that the more he could do for Luo Feng, the more he would have to rely on. Right now, everyone in the Circle of Knights knew that the Ganwu country leader, because of his identity as Luo Feng's son's teacher. He had even repaid his debts to the other knights. His status was obviously different, and he was even more valued by the other knight. There's no time to lose. Blade he, I'll go gather information now. Izhou smiled. Luo Feng nodded. Izhou immediately vanished from mid-air, immediately making his move. Luo Feng was clear too. To search for an absolute warrior's tracks was a very hard thing to do. If one intentionally hid, just like Luo Feng, even the demon, automaton and bug clan's combined efforts would have a hard time finding him. However, Tianhua the Venerable didn't deliberately hide, and he was even roaming the primitive star. He estimated that after spending some time, he would be able to find him. Until then, I'll continue to train on Circus Island. Luo Feng was confident and calm. That day, his Earth body teleported to Circus Island from his god country, where he first immersed himself in training. After staying there for more than 2 months, he left for the land of inheritance for the first time. On Circus Island there were many palaces. It's Luo Feng. Luo Feng went to the land of inheritance again. The inheritors of some powers were tasked with the task of monitoring Luo Feng. They immediately recorded the information and quickly sent it back to their clans. In the vast starry sky of the universe, as 3 consciousnesses crossed the infinite space and descended, the surrounding universe space immediately distorted, as though it existed in another dimension. A huge black oval sphere silhouette, a beautiful figure, a huge silver-white snake head surrounded by countless snake silhouettes. Automaton, what's going on? How come Luo Feng is still alive? The faint silhouette scolded angrily. Didn't you say that demon god Void would kill him himself? The silver-white snake head said angrily. When demon god Void broke into the ancestor god Sek's territory to kill Luo Feng, he failed and didn't contact the automaton race's father god. As the strongest in the universe, the automaton race's father god was naturally patient. He didn't rush to ask. Instead, he carefully investigated the human race's intelligence. In these 2 months, Luo Feng appeared in Primal Chaos City, but he entered the main residence directly, so very few people knew about it. Even though the automaton race had eyes and ears in Primal Chaos City, they didn't have many, so they didn't discover that Luo Feng entered the main residence and left. Until this time, when Luo Feng appeared on Circus Island, the automaton race, bug race, and demon race finally knew that Luo Feng was still alive. Since I asked demon god Void to help, you know his temper. Rushing to ask will only make that stone unhappy, said the oval black sphere silhouette. This time I found out that Luo Feng is still alive, so I went to ask him. Just now, I met him and chatted with him. What exactly happened? Asked the silver-white snake head. The slim figure stared at the oval black sphere too. The 4 pinnacle races fought against each other. This time, they only formed an alliance because they had a common target, the human Luo Feng. Actually, their relationship was already bad. Demon God Void said that he suddenly descended on Circe's island and immediately used his killer move. However, he didn't expect the Ancestor God Sek's dual-faced Ancestor God to stay by Luo Feng's side and secretly protect him. The moment he attacked, the Ancestor God of the Ancestor God Sect attacked. Even though he tried his best, he still couldn't kill Luo Feng, said the Black Sphere Silhouette. Ancestor God? Dual-faced Ancestor God. The silver-white snake head and slim figure were both shocked. The Ancestor God lowered himself to secretly protect him? The slim figure's voice was incomparably moving. How is that possible? That's the truth, said the Black Sphere slowly. Demon God Void failed once, so let him attack again, said the silver-white snake head. Since he accepted this task and has benefited from us, he naturally has to do it well. And what kind of status does the Ancestor God have? The high and mighty Ancestor God protecting Luo Feng once is fine, but can he keep protecting him? Let Demon God Void attack again. He'll definitely succeed. Dream Tea! Roared the Black Sphere Silhouette. The three of us combined only have the value of a pinnacle treasure weapon. What kind of status does Demon God Void have? In the Cosmic Sea, he's the most difficult existence to deal with. It's already good enough that he attacked once. And you want him to attack again? If the Ancestor God tries to stop you once, it's fine. But if he tries again, isn't that a clear provocation to the Ancestor God? Do you think the value of a pinnacle treasure is enough to make Demon God Void completely go against the Ancestor God Sect? But he failed, said the silver-white snakehead. Demon God Void said he gave it his all. Even when he unleashed his full power, he was suppressed by the universe. He did enough. It's worth the value of a pinnacle treasure, said the Black Sphere Silhouette. The slender silhouette and the silver-white snake head fell silent. Demon God Void's status was indeed extraordinary. As a lone ranger, none of the major powers dared to provoke him. Plus, he had a powerful treasure to protect him. He was even more unbridled and arrogant. Just like that smiling but incomparably sinister mountain-sitting guest, all the major forces gnashed their teeth in secret, but they could only swallow their broken teeth into their stomachs. Then what should we do? Luo Feng appeared on Circe's island again. If we invite the strongest warrior in the universe and the Ancestor God secretly protecting him, wouldn't that be a waste of a treasure? The slender silhouette and the silver-white snake head had the responsibility of their race, so they naturally didn't want to waste a treasure. The Black Sphere Silhouette said, "Let's wait first. The Ancestor God might still be secretly protecting him now. But as time goes on, he can't keep doing that. When that time comes, we'll invite the strongest warrior in the universe. We can only wait first. Who should we invite next? In my opinion, invite Mountain Guest. He's extremely cunning and has many tricks up his sleeve. He's also very proficient in soul attack. I think he'll have a better chance than Demon God Void. Invite Mountain Guest. I'm afraid his conditions will be very high. How will we know if we don't try? Let's wait first." After a while, Empress, contact Mountain Guest. He's the closest to you. Soon, the three of them reached an agreement, and the three thoughts instantly left. This part of the starry sky returned to normal. Circe's Island. It had been more than a year since Demon God Void came to kill him. Luo Feng had finally completely comprehended the 5th level of the Path of the Beast God, and had begun to study the 6th level. This study made Luo Feng feel like it was as vast as the ocean, extremely difficult and complicated. The further he went, the more difficult it became. However, after completing the 5th level, his foundation became more solid. This allowed Luo Feng to have a deeper understanding of the secret patterns, and creating secret techniques became easier than before. He easily created a peak-level Lord of the Universe secret technique, which Luo Feng named Golden River. Blade River, I've found Tianhua Supreme's location. A male interrupted Luo Feng's training days on Circe's Island. Brothers, you guys are ruthless. With an increase of 3,000 votes, it looks like Tomato will have at least 5 chapters today. With everyone's ferocity, it's possible for Tomato to have 6 or 7 chapters. Come on. The more the monthly votes, the more chapters. Let's fight. Asterisk, 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 to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1133. Virtual Universe Thunder Island, Luo Feng's study room. A huge screen floated in mid-air with detailed information on Tianhua Knight's movements over the past few years and his current coordinate. Number 02933 Primal Star. Luo Feng revealed a smile. These few years, Tianhua Knight seems to have gained quite a bit. Just from what the warriors of the various races know of, there's already a high-level treasure and close to 10 normal treasures. Tianhua Knight, if you've already returned these treasures to the demon race, consider yourself lucky. Otherwise, they'll all end up in my hands. Even though his consciousness was connected to the virtual universe, Luo Feng's earth body had already left Bauhinia the moment he received the news and returned to his god country. Because he had to bring the golden horned beast along. This time I'm heading to the Primal Star. Primal Star, even universe lords and the strongest warriors of the universe can't teleport. If I'm discovered and the other races want to kill me, they'll have to fly over slowly. Luo Feng nodded within. The moment he was discovered in other places, the enemies might arrive quickly. However, the Primal Star would have a hard time reaching him. However, it's still a Primal Star. That place has trillions of races and warriors, I can't be careless. This is the battle that will make me famous. Luo Feng went all out this time, bringing the golden horned beast and the Masha clansmen along. He headed towards the Primal Star. Luo Feng first entered the 03921 Primal Planet and flew alone for about half a day, reaching the whirlpool pathway to the 02933 Primal Planet. This was the fastest way Luo Feng could reach the Primal Star after careful consideration. Number 02933 Primal Star, above the vast ocean, there was a huge whirlpool pathway. A tall and sturdy burning silhouette flew out from within. He was about 10 m tall, his entire body black, every inch of his body was spewing flames. I've reached the Primal Star. Luo Feng looked at his burning body and smiled. He was using the Masha clansman to rush, and he let the Masha clansman unleash its natural ability clone, directly cloning one of the universe overlords under the Blood Cloud leader's many life forms. Even though the other overlords weren't bad, those with 1 head, 2 arms and 2 legs were rare. Luo Feng was still used to his human form. On his back was a battle saber that was about 6 meters long. It was the supreme treasure saber, Bo He. Whoosh! The tall and sturdy figure of flame with a blade on his back flew through the air, over the ocean and into the range of the land. He flew above the vast swamp for about a day before he began to approach the coordinates provided by Venerable Yuan Zhou. I'm almost there. Even though he had flown for a day, Luo Feng's heart didn't waver at all. Luo Feng began to slow down, at the same time carefully observing his surroundings. The coordinates provided by Yun Zhou Knight were after all the strong warriors from the Hong Alliance had discovered Tianhua Knight's location 3 days ago. 3 days had passed, and there was a high chance that something had changed. He observed carefully along the way. Half an hour later, Luo Feng landed on a small lake in the swamp. His feet, which were surrounded by flames, stepped on the surface of the lake, causing steam to rise from the water. No, he's not here? Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. I've already scanned the surrounding area. I haven't found Tianhua Knight at all. Whoosh! Following closely, Luo Feng rushed into the sky, flying at an extremely high altitude and swiftly flying, once again conducting a larger-scale search. After all, it had only been 3 days since the strong warriors from the Hong Alliance had discovered Tianhua Knight. In these 3 days, Tianhua Knight wouldn't have left the primal planet. He should still be in the surrounding area. Luo Feng expanded his search area. After searching for half an hour, suddenly a special energy spread out majestically in all directions, causing Luo Feng, who was searching, to be stunned. He too had roamed the primal planet before. Naturally he had experience, immediately determining that this was the energy of a treasure being born. What a strong energy! Very strong. It's definitely a treasure. It could very well be a high-level treasure. I didn't expect that when I came to find Tianhua Knight, I would actually encounter a treasure being born. Luo Feng smiled, following which his eyes gleamed. Right, I've discovered a treasure being born, I've discovered it. If Tianhua Knight is in the surrounding area, he'll definitely discover it too. He'll definitely rush over with his fastest speed, haha. So, Luo Feng immediately became an arc, heading straight for the source of the energy with extreme speed. It's a treasure, it should be a high-level treasure being born. Quickly! Rush over. Such a strong treasure energy, quickly, with the fastest speed. If we can get it, we'll be rich. Let's hope we're the first to arrive. The energy spread out. Those that were closest to the treasure were naturally the first to discover it. Those that were further away were the ones that discovered it. Ahead or behind, teams of knights from the various powers of the universe, the solo universe overlords, the pinnacle overlords, all swiftly rushed towards the source of the energy. Haha, my luck is really good. I actually managed to encounter a high-level treasure being born. This energy must be a high-level treasure. His entire body was covered in snow-white fur. His back was bent. His face had a huge blood-red vertical eye. His entire body emitted an endless amount of blood energy as he laughed. He was Tianhua Knight, a heavenly wolf that had once possessed a special life form. Back in the clan, to exchange for the white needle, I've given almost all my other treasures to the clan. I'm really poor. Now that a high-level treasure has appeared, the stronger the treasure, the slower it is to appear. If I rush over, I'm afraid it won't even be completely born. This treasure will definitely be mine. Tianhua Knight laughed sharply, simultaneously becoming a beam of light and swiftly heading towards the source of the energy. Teams after teams, either solo or in groups of 3 to 5, all rushed towards the source of the energy. Rumble! Rumble! Violent energy ripples spread out in all directions. Luo Feng hadn't even arrived. He could already feel the intense energy ripples. Looks like the battle for the treasure has already begun. And at this time, as the consciousness of the endless dark ocean was constantly connected to the virtual universe, it received the mail that Ezhou Knight had just sent. Blade River, number 02933 Primal Planet, not far from the coordinates I gave you. There's a battle going on, there's intense energy ripples. Tianhua Knight is there, and he's currently in battle. He's really there. Luo Feng revealed a look of glee, continuing to fly towards the source of the energy. In the distance was a vast forest. The battle was continuing within. Luo Feng could see with a glance that there were teams of knights floating above the forest. There were a total of 20 knights gathered in mid-air. Luo Feng very quickly flew above the vast forest, gazing down. There were 3 silhouettes below. One was completely covered in snow-white fur, his hands wielding 2 godly hammers. With an unparalleled stance, he wantonly smashed towards the other 2 warriors of the other races. As for the other 2 outsider sovereigns, they were also tall and strong, and they also wielded supreme treasures to fight back. Demon Race Tianhua Knight, 9 Territories Alliance's Zawi Leader, 1,000 Shadows Knight. Luo Feng gazed below, nodding to himself. No wonder they aren't retreating, so it's 2 universe overlords. Even though Tianhua Knight was strong, he was only strong in terms of life force, as high as 2,000 times. Zawi Leader and 1,000 Shadows Knight's life force gene levels were 100 times. Their strength was obviously 1 level lower. However, just 1 level, their bodies were considered bigger, they were just at a disadvantage. The Unveil Lord walked the path of a fighter, while the Thousand Shadows Venerable walked the path of a spirit reader. If the two joined forces, they would definitely be able to put up a fight. They didn't hope to defeat Tianhua Night, they just hoped to be the first to get their hands on the treasure before it fully appeared. Right now, the high-level treasure was already more than halfway out. It was a completely blue godly hammer. The handle was already completely exposed. The head of the hammer was slowly floating up. Elite Universe Overlord, and 2 Universe Overlords, the treasure must have been obtained by one of them. What bad luck! If it was just 1 Universe Overlord, we could still fight, but there are 3, and one of them is an Elite Universe Overlord. The other alien race venerables in the sky shook their heads helplessly. They didn't dare to get involved. Xavier Overlord and the Thousand Shadows Venerable could withstand Supremacy Tianhua's attack, but they, the Universe Venerables, would die if they tried. Luo Feng floated high in the air, gazing down. Who is that? I don't know, but his energy is strong, and he's a Lone Ranger. He could very well be a Universe Overlord. Looks like this Universe Overlord is waiting for an opportunity. The other knights discussed, they were clear, in this fight for the treasure, from the level of the battle, they didn't even have a chance to interfere. Zawi Leader, Thousand Shadows Knight, the two of you want my treasure too? Tianhua Knight roared, his blood red. I was incomparably mad. The treasure that has appeared this time is the godly hammer. I use it, it should be mine. If the two of you push me too far, don't blame me for not showing mercy. What big talk! Even though the two of us aren't your match, to kill us, dream on. Why would the two of us be afraid of you? Xavier Leader and Thousand Shadows were also incomparably frenzied. Xavier Leader went to block time and time again. Thousand Shadows unleashed a spirit weapon that transformed into thousands of images, covering the sky and earth, crazily tangling with Tianhua Sage. Tianhua Knight could only use his huge hammer to attack again and again. Zawi Leader and Thousand Shadows Knight weren't anxious at all, they were waiting for an opportunity, waiting for the treasure to fully appear and immediately snatch it. Time passed minute by minute. The three of them continued to fight. The other knights in the air could only watch, not daring to interfere. Luo Feng too watched quietly. Soon, the treasure is about to appear. Zawi Leader and Thousand Shadows Knight's eyes gleamed. Thousand Shadows, the last chance, it's up to you. Leave it to me. Thousand Shadows Knight's eyes were filled with madness too. When it was time to fight, one had to fight madly. Treasures were obtained by fighting. The two of you are dreaming if you think you can get it. Tianhua Knight roared as he walked towards the treasure again and again, not wanting to stray too far from it, but Zawi Leader and Thousand Shadows Knight's attacks were too strong, causing both sides to retreat each time. And at this time, Luo Feng slowly descended. The treasure has appeared. It has appeared. The group of knights in the air were all excited. Hua! Venerable Tianhua, the Lord of Xavier and the Thousand Shadows Venerable moved at the same time, and a figure pounced down from midair. Chapter 2 has arrived. The monthly votes are really ferocious. The more the monthly votes, the more Tomato updates. From the looks of it, Tomato needs at least 6 updates today. Asterisk to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1134. The Zawi Leader, the Thousand Shadows Venerable, Tianhua Venerable, and Luo Feng had already spread their divine powers around the hammer. The moment the blue hammer appeared, the divine powers from all directions tried to enter and recognize it as its master. However, it was just like the time when they fought to recognize the sealing star as its master. Everyone fought to recognize it as its master, but naturally they all failed. The life mark had to be left alone and not be disturbed. Another trash! Tianhua roared, all of you scram! Dream on! The Thousand Shadows Venerable controlled the 1,000 phantoms to envelop Supremacy Tianhua, hindering his advance. Break! Paragon Tianhua swung his hammer and smashed the illusions apart. The illusions were actually flying daggers that were as thin as cicadas' wings. There were 1,000 of them, and every single one of them had a secret law rune on it. Countless law threads connected to each other, making the 1,000 flying daggers look like they were a single entity. Even though every knife was just a treasure, with 1,000 of them stacking together, it was enough to match a high-level treasure. Hua! Luo Feng, who was diving down, immediately split into two people. One was the tall and sturdy figure still covered in black flames, Masha clansman transformation, and the other was Luo Feng, who had just broken a world ring and came out. Like those normal world rings, Luo Feng had prepared over 10,000 of them. After all, during a true battle, the god energy ripples didn't allow for world energy to guide him. Hence, the fastest way to leave the world ring was to break a world. To Luo Feng, breaking a world, just the god energy ripples alone were enough to cause the land and skies to collapse and the world to shatter. Rumble, the golden waves surged and instantly filled a large area of the vast forest, turning the forest into a surging golden river. Naturally, the Lord of Zeve, the Thousand Shadows Venerable, and Venerable Tianhua felt the strong resistance of the golden river, causing their speed to decrease sharply. And the 9 beasts within the endless golden river surrounded the hammer and grabbed it as they flew towards Luo Feng. Silence! Supremacy Tianhua, the Lord of Zavii, and the Thousand Shadows Venerable all stopped fighting, while the 30 or so venerables in the sky stared at the scene below in a daze. This scene was completely unexpected. They all thought that the 4 warriors would engage in a bloody battle. Who would have thought that one side actually had a domain treasure? That is, 9 Nether River. It's the 9 Hell River, Luo Feng's 9 Hell River. Domain type Supreme Treasure, 9 Nether River. Luo Feng is here. The shocked silence in mid-air quickly turned into an uproar, all of them looking over. On the surging golden river, a black-haired young man with silver armor and silver wings and a saber on his back was standing on the waves with a smile on his face. It was the human Luo Feng. Luo Feng! It's Luo Feng! Lord Tianhua, Zawi leader, and Thousand Shadows were all shocked. They never thought that after such a fierce battle, the one who would benefit in the end would actually be the legendary human Luo Feng. The waves surged and the 9 beasts revolved around, sending the god hammer to Luo Feng's hands. Luo Feng extended his hand and received it. As for the Masha clansman, it had long entered the world ring. The two of you fought so fiercely. It might seem cruel to let you rejoice for nothing, but I'm sorry, I'll still accept this precious treasure. Luo Feng's divine body naturally blocked off all external divine power. He easily made the hammer recognize him as its master and stored it in his world ring. Let's go. Let's go. It's Luo Feng. If we're too slow, we'll be dead. The foreign warriors in mid-air all swiftly fled. Even Thousand Shadows and Zawi leader exchanged glances. Luo Feng's reputation was simply too great. He was someone who had killed a universe overlord before. And a few overlords had fallen at his hands. No matter how good the treasure was, it wasn't as important as their lives. The two of them swiftly broke through the waves and flew far away. Ferocious. This was true fame. The moment Luo Feng appeared, the universe warriors, including the 2 universe overlords, immediately retreated. Only the pinnacle of the universe overlord Tianhua stood amidst the surging 9 Nether River waves, glaring angrily at Luo Feng. Human Luo Feng, you actually dare to appear on the primal star? Tianhua roared. Why wouldn't I dare? Luo Feng stood amidst the waves and laughed softly. He had guessed that the moment he appeared, Tianhua and the other foreign warriors would immediately inform the powers behind them. However, this was all within his calculations. For this battle that would make him famous, Luo Feng had already made ample preparations. Good, very good. Tianhua bent over, the blood-red eye under his snow-white fur grew even more frenzied. Zawi leader and those 2 bastards are afraid of you. However, in front of me, you're just a joke. he indeed wasn't afraid of Luo Feng at all. His life force level was about 2,000 times. From his point of view, even if Luo Feng was thousands of times stronger, there wouldn't be much of a difference. What's more, his body was much larger than Luo Feng's. Even if they fought head-on, he would still have the advantage. Joke? Luo Feng gently grabbed the blood shadow blade on his back and pulled it out. Caressing the blade, he lowered his head and looked at it. I've killed universe overlords before. However, I've never killed an elite one. I've heard that even universe lords find it hard to kill an elite one. I want to try. You want to kill me? Tianhua's blood-red eyes stared wide open, as though he had heard the biggest joke in the world. Right, I want to kill you. Luo Feng nodded. His voice reverberated throughout the area. In the distance, the foreign race knights who had already escaped beyond the Ninming River area were all watching from afar. As long as they maintained a sufficient distance from Luo Feng, they wouldn't be afraid. And from the looks of it, the two elite universe overlords were about to battle. How could they miss such an exciting battle? When they heard Luo Feng's words, the foreign race knights, including Zawi Leader and Thousand Shadows, were all shocked. Haha, what a joke, what a joke. After killing a few universe overlords, you dare say you want to kill me. Even universe lords don't have the confidence, much less you? Human Luo Feng, I'll let you know how strong a true elite universe overlord is. Tianhua roared. He wielded a hammer in each hand and strode forward, rumbling as he rushed towards Luo Feng. Luo Feng wielded the blood shadow blade and stood there smiling. The foreign venerables, including the Lord of Zawi and the Thousand Shadows Venerable, were watching carefully from above the Nine-Ghost River. The distance between the two swiftly closed. 100,000 kilometers, 50,000 kilometers. Roar! The originally smiling Luo Feng suddenly changed. His eyes were filled with ferocity, almost as though he had transformed into a beast god. With a flash of lightning, he charged forward. His calm smile before, however, the moment he exploded, he was like an erupting volcano, becoming berserk and unstoppable. His energy was much stronger than his opponent's. The hammer tore through the air. The blood shadow blade slashed forward. Rumble! The two clashed. Luo Feng retreated 3 steps, and the madly charging Tianhua knight was sent flying backwards. However, he twisted his body in mid-air and stopped. No wonder you can kill a universe overlord. You are stronger than me, however your strength is limited. You can't even completely suppress me, haha. Tianhua knight had long expected Luo Feng to be stronger than him. After all, Luo Feng could easily kill a universe overlord. This was something he, Tianhua knight, couldn't do. From this exchange, Tianhua knight swiftly deduced that Luo Feng was only slightly stronger than him. Really? Luo Feng wielded the blood shadow blade and stepped on the golden waves as he walked over. What he unleashed earlier was the universe overlord's ultimate technique, Heavy Mountain. It was comparable to Tianhua knight's technique. He only relied on his body and weapon to gain the upper hand. Haha, you still want to fight? Let's see how many times your body can last. Tianhua knight took a big step forward. With the hammers in his hands, the space around him trembled. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed coldly. That was just a warm-up. He wanted to carefully feel Tianhua knight's strength. After the exchange, he deduced that even if he unleashed the Universe Lord's pinnacle techniques Golden Mountain and Golden River, he probably wouldn't be able to kill his opponent in a short time. He had to unleash the Universe Lord's ultimate technique, Golden Light. There were more foreign race warriors in mid-air, a total of 30 over. They came from the various powers of the universe. All of them were carefully watching the battle. However, Zawi Leader said directly, "The pinnacle of the universe overlords are strong. Their bodies are strong too. Luo Feng only has the upper hand. If he keeps fighting and exhausting his body, the human Luo Feng might actually fall." His expression froze. Up in the sky, The 30 or so alien venerables who were discussing quietly were all stunned as they watched the scene unfold below them in shock. Below, in the 9-mile river, Luo Feng and Tianhua Night clashed. That golden light shone, a resplendent golden light. A dazzling golden light, sharp and cold. Pung! Tianhua Night's hammers were slashed by the blade and smashed into his own body. That blade was infused with unbelievable power. It immediately crashed into the high-level armor. It immediately reached the limits of a high-level armor. Tianhua Night could even hear the armor ringing. How can it be so strong? Tianhua Night's blood-red eye was filled with shock and disbelief. Rumble, Tianhua Night was immediately flung away. Like a broken sandbag, he had no strength to resist. His body trembled from the impact. 11% loss, how can this be? Is he a Universe Lord? Has he already broken through to become a Universe Lord? Tianhua Night was completely shocked. Even though his body wasn't too big, it was still close to 10 kilometers tall. One blade and it drained 11% of his body. That was too much. This was definitely something only a Universe Lord could do. Back then when Luo Feng killed Zhongzhan Night, he needed 2 blades. One blade drained half of his body. Tianhua Night and Zhongzhan Night both had high-level armor. However, his god energy purity was 20 times that of Zhongzhan Knight's. However, after Luo Feng became a Universe Lord, his god energy purity was 100 times that of before, and his weapon changed from the Zhangyue blade to the Extreme Treasure Blood Shadow Blade. This gave Luo Feng an even greater advantage. And at this level of battle, the high-level armor's defense was much weaker. Hence, with just one blade, it destroyed 11% of his god body. The 30 over foreign race warriors in mid-air were shocked to find that Tianhua Night's energy was obviously weakening. The weakening was very clear. It was at least 10% weaker. One blade and it caused an elite Universe Lord to lose close to 10% of his god body? They were completely shocked by the scene. This was definitely something only a Universe Lord could do. P.S. Chapter 3 has arrived. This was the 6,000th update. Tomato continued writing, *, to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1135. Volume 21, Chapter 20. Wind Rising, 7,000 votes. If the difference in strength between the two wasn't huge, the recoil from the clash would cause Luo Feng to slow down or even retreat. However, the difference between the two was simply too huge. Unleashing the Universe Lord's ultimate technique, Luo Feng was like a true Universe Lord. After the first slash, he followed closely behind Tianhua's body and slashed again. Not good, one slash after another, 9 slashes will be enough to kill me. Tianhua couldn't care less about the shock of Luo Feng becoming a Universe Lord. Escaping was the most important thing now. White Needle. A huge white shuttle-shaped object suddenly appeared behind Tianhua Night. It was about 1,000 kilometers long, completely white and extremely glossy. The moment it appeared, it immediately flew towards Tianhua Night. Tianhua Night followed the force of Luo Feng's second slash and flew over, entering the white shuttle-shaped object. After escaping into the shuttle, Tianhua finally let out a sigh of relief. I was almost killed by this Luo Feng. Tianhua's snow-white fur-covered blood-red eye was filled with fear. Too strong. Luo Feng only revealed a little bit of his strength at the start. He was hiding it all. The strength he revealed after was completely at the Universe Lord level. Sinister. Too sinister. That slash was so fast I couldn't dodge, so strong I couldn't defend against it. The profoundness was deep and profound, I couldn't even see through it. It was definitely a Universe Lord's technique, and it was probably the ultimate technique. Such a technique could only be created by a Universe Lord. And only a Universe Lord could injure me. This Luo Feng becoming a Universe Lord, he actually hid it from the public. Tianhua was nervous and excited. Luckily, when I offered up the clan treasures to exchange for treasures, I chose the white needle and not the armor. Tian Hua exclaimed within. As an elite universe lord, his wealth naturally far exceeded normal universe lords. Over the countless years of accumulation, he had even roamed the universe sea for a long time. He had many treasures. During this opening of the primal planet, he naturally planned to exchange for an important treasure to protect himself. At that time, he had two choices. One was to exchange for a supreme treasure armor. 100 supreme treasure points were enough for the human race. Two was to exchange for a high-grade flying palace treasure. The cheapest among the human race was also around 200 supreme treasure points. Obviously, treasures of the flying palaces were more expensive. However, he still gritted his teeth and traded for this flying palace treasure regardless of the price. I made the right choice. If I had gotten a top-grade supreme treasure armor back then, even though its defense would have been stronger, it would have been much stronger. However, his attacks are too terrifying. Even with the top-level armor, one move can hurt at least 1/1000 of me. With this Luo Feng surrounding me, even if he slashes me over 1000 times, I'll still die. Supremacy. Tianhua heaved a sigh of relief. Now that he was hiding in a flying palace, he had nothing to fear. The Nine-Ghost River was vast and mighty. Luo Feng stood within the golden waves, looking at the white shuttle floating in the distance. His expression changed. Flying palace-type treasure. Haha, Luo Feng. A voice resounded from the white shuttle. I respect you. You're probably one of the top geniuses of the trillions of races in the vast universe. Training for such a short period of time, the other warriors all think you're an absolute tyrant of the universe. However, they never expected you to actually be a universe lord. If not for this flying palace treasure, I'm afraid I'd have died today. Ha ha ha, however now, I'm afraid you're out of luck. I'm out of luck? Luo Feng looked at the white shuttle. Very angry, very angry? However, what can you do to me? I'm within the flying palace. Even if you're 10 or 100 times stronger, you can only stare. Supremacy. Tianhua's sharp voice resounded from within the white shuttle. Luo Feng too felt that he had miscalculated. He had made very detailed preparations for this battle that would make him famous. He had also anticipated many unexpected situations. The paragon of Tianhua having a flying palace was one of the worst situations. Although he had proven his strength, and many experts had seen it from afar, and the paragon of Tianhua had admitted it, however, he still hadn't been able to kill him cleanly. This battle didn't have enough credibility. As for breaking through the white shuttle, Luo Feng didn't have such thoughts. The flying palace treasures were the sturdiest treasures of the same level. They specialized in resisting material attacks. A normal flying palace treasure, in terms of sturdiness, was comparable to a high-level armor. A high-level flying palace treasure was comparable to a top-level armor. Like the Sky Wolf leader, he had the Sky Wolf Palace, which was also a high-level flying palace treasure. However, it was considered one of the better ones. According to human values, it was worth 800 to 900 treasure points. The Sky Wolf leader relied on it to dominate the universe. Even the Primal Chaos City leader and the 9 Underworld leader couldn't break through it. The shuttle was slightly weaker than the Sky Wolf Palace. However, it was still enough to dominate the universe. Most of the universe lords were helpless against it. Against a flying palace treasure, one could usually only rely on soul attacks. And Luo Feng wasn't proficient in soul attack. So, Luo Feng immediately kept the 9-Sea River and became a beam of light and flew away. You want to leave? The white shuttle followed closely. Luo Feng and the white shuttle tore through the skies one after the other, causing the distant foreign race warriors to be dumbfounded. There's actually a flying palace treasure. Sky Hua Knight actually said Luo Feng is a universe lord. Of course he's a universe lord. To be that strong, if he isn't a universe lord, then what is he? Even an elite universe lord lost 10% of his body in one slash. Other than a universe lord, who else could be that strong? One after the other. Sky Hua Knight, you're determined to follow me? Luo Feng looked behind. Right, I'm determined to follow you. You won't be able to escape, the white shuttle said. Luo Feng glanced at the huge white shuttle behind him. He indeed couldn't deal with it. He was clear that the automaton, bug and demon race had been investigating him. Sky Hua Knight would naturally follow him to confirm his coordinates and inform the upper echelon of the demon race. Play big? I'm afraid I'll have to rely on Plan 9. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed with killing intent. Demon territory, Dream Ancestor's secret region. Sky Hua Knight left his body within the race. He used his servant's god country to swiftly teleport to the Dream Ancestor's secret region. After arriving there, his consciousness immediately connected to the virtual space. Like the automaton race, they too created their own virtual space. Even back on Earth back then, with a simple quantum computer, they were able to create a simple virtual space war god palace. To reach a virtual space that covered the entire universe, with all the laws within, was very difficult. However, if it was a small virtual space, just exchanging information was still very simple. The demon race had a virtual space that covered the entire Dream Ancestor secret region. Within the demon race virtual space, within a vast mist, a majestic white palace rose and fell. This was where the Dream Ancestor was at. Within the mist, there was a long table with 9 silhouettes. Above each of them was a huge silver-white snake. The snake's body extended far into the distance, faintly discernible within the mist. It was incomparably huge. The other 8 silhouettes were of various shapes and sizes. Obviously they were the great beings of the demon race. Teacher. Sky Hua Knight appeared in mid-air. His snow-white fur body bowed respectfully. You said you discovered Luo Feng and that he's a universe lord? The silver-white snake head looked over. Yes. Sky Hua Knight said. Liar. How can the human Luo Feng become a universe lord so quickly? Impossible. Immediately, many of the other 8 seated masters of the universe began to shout. Sky Hua Knight said, This is the truth. I've personally verified it. If it wasn't for me exchanging for the Flying Palace treasure White Needle early on, I'd probably have fallen to him. Impossible. To kill you, he'd have to have the power of a universe lord. How long has he been training? Impossible. The other universe lords were still in disbelief. Sitting in the main seat, Dream Ancestor watched quietly. Sky Hua Knight immediately said, Words are useless. I'll show the other universe lords what happened then, and everything will be clear. After which, he looked into mid-air. Everything he had experienced, including the scenes from his memories, was simulated once more. Starting from his fight with Xavier Leader and Thousand Shadows, silence reigned. The universe lords all watched carefully. Trillions of years of experience told them that it was impossible to become a universe lord in such a short period of training. Otherwise, it would be too heaven-defying. The simulation ended. The universe lords were silent for a while. They could all see that when Luo Feng exchanged blows with Sky Hua Knight, the first slash, the difference in strength between the two wasn't huge. However, after Luo Feng's second slash, the power immediately exploded, causing Sky Hua Knight to lose 10% of his body. Just from the images alone, they couldn't see the wonders of that slash. Because Sky Hua Knight didn't understand it, naturally he couldn't replicate it. One slash. Just mimicking 100% of the postures was useless. The true essence was the Tao of the beast god that was activated by the countless mysterious runes of the laws. This was something the memory images couldn't replicate. Luckily I hid in the Flying Palace, otherwise I would have died. Sky Hua Knight emphasized. Not necessarily. Dream Ancestor said, Luo Feng might not be a universe lord. He was able to fight against Bark Mirror Emperor at undying level. When he was a universe lord, His body should be stronger than yours. With such a strong body, he should have had some special encounters, or even been bestowed with a natural technique. Perhaps he would have obtained an innate secret art that is comparable to the ultimate secret art of the Lord of the Universe. The other Universe Lords nodded. Have you ever seen him control space? Dream Ancestor said. No. Sky Hua Knight shook his head. Just one powerful technique could be a natural technique. Unless he can unleash two techniques, only then would one be his own creation. Dream Ancestor shook her head. And your strength isn't enough, you can't really tell. Only by letting a Universe Lord fight him, can you clearly determine if he's a Universe Lord. You're following him now? Dream Ancestor said. Yes. Sky Hua Knight said, he can't escape. I'm definitely following him. The silver-white snake head said, I'll contact the automaton and bug race. The three races will work together to eliminate this Luo Feng. P.S. Tomato ate dinner and wrote the 4th chapter, a little slower. This is 7,000 votes more. I'll continue writing the 5th chapter. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation.